The Late Night Alternative with Iain Lee on Talk Radio.
We have ways of making you talk.
Every man has his techniques, and they're all different.
They said you're not normal, why don't you sing R&B? I said I got no rhythm and I got no blues, I'm as happy as can be. They said how can you not bop to hip-hop? I said I most certainly do. Did you not see me dancing the other night like the girls on Channel U? Yeah, I can wind down low, be like the girls in the videos, but for me that's much too slow because I prefer rock and roll. I say yeah, I can wind down low, dance like the girls in the videos, but for me that's a no-no because I prefer rock and roll, They say why'd you wear a shirt and tie? Now that's a bit bizarre. I said I like to look good when I go on stage, strumming my guitar. I like to sing my songs about real life things like good times and romance, and I prefer to do it in my skinny jeans and minuscule hot pants.
Every man has his techniques,
Cause this baby got no back.
and they're all different.
Yeah, I can wind down low, be like the girls in the videos, but for me that's much too slow because I prefer rock and roll. I say yeah, I can wind down low, dance like the girls in the videos, but for me that's a no-no because I prefer rock and roll, rock and roll. Why can't people just let me be? I'm only putting out what comes best to me. Some people get their kicks with other things, but I get mine with wood and string. Yeah, I can wind down low, be like the girls in the videos, but for me that's much too slow because I prefer rock and roll. I say yeah, I can wind down low, dance like the girls in the videos, but for me that's a no-no because I prefer rock and roll. Yeah, I can wind down low, be like the girls in the videos, but for me that's much too slow because I prefer rock and roll. I say yeah, I can wind down low, dance like the girls in the videos, but for me that's a no-no because I prefer rock and roll.
There we go.
Rock and roll.
Yes, rock and roll. Speaking of rock and roll, there's no one more rock and roll than Alan Caddick.
Walk on, people!
Walk on, walk on. Of course, Walk On, of course, is the famous Ken Hom music and cookery show. Walk On. It was cancelled after 3 episodes because it just no one wanted to walk and roll.
Oh, dear.
Oh dear, Alan. Oh dear, oh dear, oh dear. It's Wednesday. It's 5 minutes past 10. I'm Iain Lee. She's Catherine Boyle.
Yay.
You're Alan Caddick of a non-specified gender. What have you got for us tonight?
I bring bad news on my mum front.
What's happened to my mum?
No, my mum.
Oh no! Go on.
She was supposed to come home, but she's still in hospital because they've got to sort out the potassium levels.
They've got to sort out the potato levels?
Potassium.
The potassium potato levels? Is there potassium in potatoes? I'm going to say there is, because they both begin with pot. And I imagine there's potassium in pot. I'm sorry to hear that.
So me and my dad really worried. We don't know when she's coming home.
Ah, man, that sucks. The human body sucks, doesn't it? Well, I'll tell you what we're going to do. Is we are going to just have...
we need some cheering up tonight.
Well, we're going to do some cheering up, but before we do that, I want everyone to get a bit maudlin. We're going to have 30 seconds... Shut that bloody dog up!
I'm going inside.
We're going to have 30 seconds of silence, right?
Yeah.
No, sorry, what was that?
No, I'm saying yeah.
No, you didn't. Well, your arse said yeah. It went... We're going to have 30 seconds of silence, right, at home. And if anyone wants to phone up now and join us on air, we'll take the first 3 callers who want to phone up 0344 499 1000 and join...
We'll call you back.
Shut up! And join us on air to share 30 seconds silence with Alan Caddick. And what we're going to do in that 30 seconds of silence, Alan, is we're all going to silently, 'cause it's silence, all right? We're going to send good vibrations, positive energy, healing energy, good thoughts, prayers. If you're into that nonsense, we're gonna send good vibrations to your mother. And I just wonder if all the listeners at home do it, if all the boys and girls do it, all the ladles and jelly spoons, everyone who's calling in, you rack them straight up, Sam. You just I want 3 callers racked straight up. We've got 2 already. We've got room for 1 more, and we are going to have on air. No, we're not. Hang on a minute. No, sorry, Alan. I'm doing your mum a disservice.
What do you mean?
We're not going to have 3 minutes of silence. 30 seconds of silence. We're going to have 3 minutes of silence for your mum on the air, right?
Okay.
And everyone that joins us, we've got room for a couple more people because someone's dropped out. Everyone that joins us, we will have 3 minutes of silence, and we'll be sending thoughts, energy. Imagine Alan's mum lying in bed, not like that. Imagine her lying in a hospital bed, and just send out positive energy and create an image in your head of a woman being healed and getting better. Right, we've only one person's called in, and I think that what that goes to show is that my listeners are the worst, most callous listeners.
They don't care.
Selfish. I'm gonna call them out. They're bastards. We might have 2. Hang on a second, Andre.
Oh, me?
Yes. Are you going to join us? Are you going to join us for 3 minutes silence as we send good vibrations and positive energy, healing energy? We're going to send bright light via the astral plane to Alan Caddick's mum.
Definitely, and I will do that. I'll do that in honour of him.
Okay.
And,
thank you, Andre.
So, Andre, just
okay.
No, you just wait there, Andre. We'll come back to you in a minute. Neil's called in. Neil?
Hello, good evening, Ian.
Good evening, Neil. Would you like to join us for 3 minutes of on-air silence to...
Well, as long as it's 3 minutes, 'cause I really need a crap.
Okay. It will be 3 minutes, Neil. I mean, do you want to go to the lavatory first and then come back for the silence?
No, I mean a crap. Not what you're thinking.
Sorry?
A crap. I need a crap.
Oh, you need a French pancake?
Yeah.
Oh, I'm so sorry, mate. I thought you...
That's your toilet humour. Come on, Ian. You're better than that, mate.
Do you know what? I'm not better than that, Neil. I'm sorry.
Well done for calling it out, though, Neil. There was no need.
Yeah, hashtag me too. Hashtag me too. I tell you what, let's have line 7. Go and get line 7 straight away, Sam, because I don't recognise. Right, Neil, stay there. We'll come to you in a minute. Actually, we'll get them all lined up. We've got loads of people lined up for this silence. The phones have gone absolutely berserk, Alan. Let's see who else we got. We got Pablo. What did you do then? It sounded like you had an old-fashioned phone. You had it on the edge of a table, and you flicked it with your hand and then caught it.
That's exactly what happened.
Beautiful.
You've only had recorded it.
Would you join us for 3 minutes silence, where we send healing energy to Alan Caddick's mum?
That's why I've called.
Sorry?
Yeah, that's what I've called for.
OK, right, stay there. We'll come to you in a second. Amanda's up in Scotland, so this now becomes an international prayer for peace. Amanda, will you be joining us on air for 3 minutes silence?
Oh, yes, I'm calling in for the silence.
OK. And can I ask, everyone is able to do their own thoughts, their own way of doing it. What will you be doing, Amanda? Will it be a prayer? Will you be imagining a sick lady with a white light on? What will you be doing?
I'll be thinking of a warm beach. Warm, very, very, very warm.
Well, hang on a second. Hang on. Alan, does your mum like beaches?
Well, she had gone to the Isle of Wight before.
OK, and was it warm?
In summary, what?
Okay, beautiful. Amanda, that works. Stay there. We've got Andre, we've got Neil, we've got Amanda, we've got Pablo. Hannah, you're going to be... you're joining us for the 3-minute silence, are you?
Yes, Lady Cadonk here.
Okay.
Thank you, Lady Cadonk.
Right.
Hello.
Oh, Jesus. Right, and...
How are you?
Oh, for God's sakes.
Again, Lady Cadonk.
Okay. So... okay, right, just be quiet. Mark's on the line. Good evening. Flippin' heck! But hang on a minute, Mark sounds like he's in a furnace.
I hope he's all right.
I hope he's not called in for the 3-minute silence. Let's see. Good... Hey! Mark!
Hello, what?
Have you called in for the 3-minute silence?
Yeah, definitely. I'd love to take that only in spirit. Okay. I'm not going to stay on phone because I don't actually think it's appropriate. But yeah, definitely in spirit. Thank you.
Right, hang on a minute. He just hung up. He's just hung up. I didn't hear what he said.
He says he's there in spirit doing the 3-minute silence, but it's not appropriate with the furnace going in the background.
Right, OK, fine, fair enough. Dean has called in. Good evening, Dean.
Hi, I'm here to do the silence for Alan Caddick's mum, but I'm not quite sure what's wrong with her.
Oh, that's a good point. Give us. Don't go into specifics, Alan, but just give us vaguely what's going on.
Blood sugar's through the roof, and her potassium levels are very low.
Her Twitter is through the roof, and she needs potatoes. So, Dean, will you be? How will you be communicating your thoughts to her? Will you be praying? Will it be meditating? What will you be doing for the 3 minutes, Dean?
Well, can I drink a beer for the 3 minutes?
If he does it,
is that okay?
If he does it silently, then I've got no objection. Does your mum like a beer, Alan?
No, she don't.
Oh, does she? What does she like? A glass of wine?
She likes Pernod and lemonade.
Hang on, let me just see if there's any potassium in beer.
Hang on, yeah. Oh, this could be good. If there's potassium in it,
definitely banana. You haven't got banana, have you?
Have you got banana beer? Could you put a banana in a beer?
I haven't got a banana. I've got some rum though. I've got some rum.
Okay, I tell you what. If you could drink a pint of rum for the 3 minutes, and think of Alan's mum, would that?
I'll drink a swig of rum.
All right, good lad. All right, we'll come to you in a minute. We've got Kadir. Kadir, are you joining us for the 3 minutes?
I am, yeah. I decided to turn my reputation a 180 and be respectful.
Okay, fine. And what will you be doing for the 3 minutes?
I've got some hand sanitizer, so I'll be rubbing that as a way to get rid of the whatever's wrong.
Okay, this is great. We've got a full switchboard. 2 more calls, and then we've got a full switchboard. This is all for your mum, Alan. And you know, there are a lot of people who swear by the power of prayer and positive thought. So we're going to do it, all right? Let's go to Jack. Evening, Jack.
Good evening, Ian.
Good evening, Jack. Tell us a little bit about yourself, Jack. Where are you from? What do you do for a living?
I'm from Scotland. Ian.
Yes?
Remember, it's me, Jack.
Young Jack.
Young Jack. Well, hang on.
Yeah.
Remind me, Alan.
There's a young kid who saw you in the jungle.
The one that stole my mum's phone.
Oh, flip, really? Have we spoken before, Jack?
Yeah. Remember, I stole my mum's phone.
Oh, I remember. I do remember. You're the phone thief. Have you stolen your mum's phone tonight?
No.
Oh, no.
That means yes.
Are you going to stay on for the 3 minutes, Jack?
Well, yes. As soon as the 3 minutes is over, I'm going to have to go to my bed.
Does your mum know you're doing this phone call to save an old lady?
Oh, blimey.
No.
No.
Okay, right, Jack, stay there. Right, we're going to drag this out. We're going to drag this out as long as we can for Jack. And finally, Kieran is in Liverpool. Good evening, Kieran.
Good evening, Ian. I'm just going to call in for the 3 minute silence to consider the tumbleweed after your exit from the jungle and what you're going to do with your career from here onwards.
It sounds like a dig. I'm going to go a little bit further, and I'm going to ask the question: was that a dig?
Take it as you wish.
Hang on a minute. It came across as rude.
No, I didn't think it was rude. It was just kind of hypothetical and kind of relevant, really.
Kind of uncalled for.
Well, no, hang on. So I don't get I don't get the dig. Just come out and say it, Kieran. Come out and say it, because let's not be coy about this. Come out with the pop.
Exactly the most successful part of your career, was it?
What was what?
Didn't really go all that well for you, did it?
What?
Being in the jungle.
It went very well for me.
Not really.
Well, how do you know? How do you know?
Well, national publicity didn't really view it as such, did it?
Well, I don't understand. What part of it was a failure?
Pretty much all of it.
Well, no, go into specifics. So I'll tell you the 3 reasons why I did it. Sorry, Alan, we've been sidetracked by an arsehole. I'll tell you the 3 reasons I did it in a minute. You tell me 3 specifics that were a failure.
Yourself, and yourself.
Okay, Kieran, but put the cuteness to one side. Give me an actual. Put the cuteness to one side. Give me an actual thing that was a failure.
Crying, being yourself, and being an arsehole.
Okay.
If I'm going to come back at you with the same.
Okay. Well, you started it, but can I tell you the 3 reasons why I did it, and I'll highlight to you why each reason was a success.
Oh, do tell. That'll be very interesting.
Well, you've brought Kieran, you've brought the subject up, mate. I don't.
Well, it'd be a first for anybody saying that it was a successful performance. And
no. You're assuming, Kieran. You're assuming I went in there to further my career and for a performance. Well, yeah. You're assuming.
Did you get paid or not?
Kieran,
did you get paid or not?
Kieran,
if you didn't get paid,
yes,
fine. If you did get paid, there's no argument.
No. Getting paid isn't
there's
a furthering.
No argument if you got paid.
Kieran, getting
did
paid.
You go in and get paid.
Kieran, getting paid doesn't.
Career.
No.
You did it for your career. Then
No, I didn't.
If you got paid, you did it for your career and for your own furtherment.
No.
Except it wasn't a furtherment.
Well, Kieran,
was it?
Will you allow me to speak?
I will.
Okay. Getting paid doesn't further one's career. That is a means to an end.
Yes, but if you go into a career, you expect to get paid for it.
Yeah, I got paid.
Therefore,
I got paid.
You're marketing yourself, and therefore you got paid.
Yes, I got paid, but getting paid doesn't further one's career.
Yes, but you were marketing yourself, were you not?
Right.
You weren't doing anything else at the moment, so it was kind of, well, actually, I'll go and do this, and I'll go and get paid.
Oh, God, Kieran. Well, actually, I was doing this radio show, and I had to take 5 weeks off.
That I know, yes, but you did want to, well, you did do other things previously, though, didn't you? And perhaps, we won't gloss over those.
We can focus on everything, but let's focus.
Yeah, it was an extension of...
Kieran, you're a very rude gentleman. I'm trying to have a conversation. Kieran, I'm trying to have a conversation. Kieran, I'm trying to have a conversation, and I'm being very polite in the face of your rudeness while we're trying to do a nice little cute thing.
Rude.
You are. There's rudeness. I'm not. This ain't shouting, buddy. We're trying to do a nice little cute bit of shtick for a caller who's got a sick mum, and you phoned up and being rude, right? So we can have a conversation.
All I'm saying is that I would observe 3 minutes silence for your own careir because I don't think it's really going anywhere.
We've got the joke, right? I'll have a conversation with you about this. But you got to just show a little bit of manners.
I'm always polite.
Well, you're not. You're being very, very rude in several different ways. But you're doing that thing now where I can speak, which is great. Thank you. Right. So the 3 reasons I went in, right? Bearing in mind they'd asked me to do it 4 times before, and I approached them this time. The 3 reasons were: 1, I needed quite a lot of money. And they paid me tens of thousands of pounds, OK? Right.
Right, point number 1.
Thank you. Point number 2 was, I do this radio show, which I'm very, very proud of, and the station hasn't advertised much, so I wanted to go in front of 12 million people and say, I've got a radio show. And I did that.
Maybe.
No, not maybe, I did it.
Yeah, but who's really bothered at the end of the day?
No, Kieran.
Your show.
Kieran.
If you'll do that.
No, because you've been doing it the whole time. You've not let me finish. You've not let me finish a point, Kieran. It's not a maybe. It's not a maybe.
To make a very important point.
No,
and that is.
No, you're not. I mean.
The other thing is, Kieran, if you're talking at the same time as Iain, no one can hear you.
Oh, God, Kieran, you're not on the air at the moment because... oh, God. This is like if they made Twitter into a human being, it would be Kieran. Right, let's try again. Kieran, you said maybe. No, maybe. I sat in front of 12 million people and told them about my radio show. So that point 2 was a success. And point 3 was my kids hadn't seen me, have not really seen me on TV, because the big stuff was 20 years ago, and the more recent stuff, it's not really been appropriate
Sure,
for.
they see you every day, don't they?
Right. Listen carefully.
They have to see you on the telly?
Yes, I wanted my children to see their dad doing something ridiculous and silly and stupid and loud on television. I wanted that.
Can't they do that in the swimming pool with you, or at home, or elsewhere? Why does it have to be publicised by, or maybe even embarrassing, as a child?
Not embarrassing, Kieran. Not embarrassing, Kieran. Kieran, my kids.
What about your children's peers?
Yeah, when I take my children to school. No. Jesus Christ. God.
Do you know what?
Yeah, Kieran's jealous.
He's so jealous. The seething resentment is palpable.
Kieran is jealous. This is incredible. Kieran is jealous. Wowzers. Jack, I'll be with you. Jack, I'll be with you. It might be a little bit longer than we thought. Are you okay to wait?
Oh, I didn't realise it was yours. Sorry.
Right, you stay there. Let me just deal with Kieran. He's a very rude man, and then we'll do this as quick as possible. I promise. Okay? Okay, right. Kieran, why are you so jealous, man?
No, I'm not jealous. I'm just saying.
But you're listening to my radio show. You watched me in the jungle.
Me as a father, acting like a daft person on the television.
Yeah.
I wouldn't be. I'd be ashamed.
Okay, well then, but you're wrong. My kids were really proud of me and they loved it, and that made my day.
And what about the barracking that they're going to get from their peers?
None of them. When I take the kids to school, they all want to come up and talk to me about eating camel's brains.
In which case, it proves exception to the rule. Then, in which case.
Okay. What do you do for a living, Kieran?
What do I do for a living? I work with people.
Well, you haven't got personal skills, Darren. Jeez, you're the rudest caller I've had. And I used to have a man called Alex phone me up who told me he was going to train to be a dentist so he could do painful operations on my mouth. You're ruder than him. Hey, Kieran, it's been fun sparring with you, mate. Thanks for listening and thanks for watching.
Yeah, good day.
Take care, mate. Bye-bye.
I loved his radio voice, didn't you?
Kieran was very, very jealous, wasn't he? Kieran was a very angry man.
His tone was very similar to that guy I was talking to on Twitter today.
Yeah, Kieran's still there. Look, he's listening.
Of course he is.
He's listening. He's gone now. That was brilliant.
What a plum.
What a... But the thing is, he thought he was scoring points, but none, because the 3 reasons that I did, they all paid off. They all paid off. So, and also I've got more work. I'm turning down work now. If that's what you were judging it on, I did it, and I didn't do it to get more work, but I'm turning down work now because I've not got enough hours in the day. And Kieran, here's the thing, Here's the thing that's going to get you the angriest. You're going to listen to the show tonight, you're going to listen to the show tomorrow, you're going to continue listening to my show. You know why? Because you can't stop listening to it. Because it winds you up. And that makes me horny. That really does. It winds you up. And you can't stop listening to it. And we'll speak again, Kieran. I enjoyed that. Thank you very much. Right! Alan!
Yes, Ian.
We got one last... I'm sorry about that, Alan. We were hijacked.
Oh, trust Kieran to make a mess of everything.
Trust Kieran to balls it up, Kieran. Right, Simon's replaced Kieran. Simon, are you going to have a pop at me?
No, I want to be part of the 3 minutes.
Here we go! Right, so, what we're going to do, Alan, we're going to start off 3 minutes, and I want everyone at home listening to send love, energy, positive vibrations, to pray, to do whatever they need to do, and think about your mum. Matt, you're joining us as well for the 3 minutes, are you?
I am. And get Sam involved as well.
And what?
Get Sam involved as well.
Karen?
No, Sam in the phone room.
Sam will be doing it as well. We've got Matt, we've got Pablo, Amanda, Neil, Andre, Jack, Dean, Kadir and Simon. And what I'll do is I will be flicking between all of these people because I can't put them all up at once. So all of you guys, just hold on to your silences. If you're listening at home, we're going to do this. In 4, 3, 2, 1, silence for Alan's mum.
much, everybody.
Thank you, Simon. Thank you, Andre. Thank you, Matt.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you thank you, Kadir.
You're welcome.
That was tremendous.
That was great, wasn't it? Thank you, Jack. You can go to bed now, mate.
They delivered the blue moon.
I totally didn't
Not yet, Dan.
sleep.
Fell asleep. Jack fell asleep. Look at that. Thank you, Dean.
Thank you very much, Wicked.
Wicked. Thank you, Neil.
I'm not looking for the blue moon.
I've been for a crepe, but it's repeated on me now.
That happens.
Thank you, Amanda.
Bye.
There we go, Tutty, bye. And thank you, Pablo.
I hope the little lady gets well soon.
Thank you very much indeed. Andre, thank you, mate.
I was meditating for him.
Okay, right, that's... Okay, I hope he said meditating. And thank you, Matt.
I wonder if that's ever been done before. 3 minutes.
Oh, I don't... Oh, I just cut him off, sorry. Alan, lots of love to your mum. Let us know how she is tomorrow.
Oh, well, thank you, everybody.
Thank you very much indeed. That, dear listener, is the power of radio. 0344 499 1000 is the phone number. I'm Iain Lee. This is Talk Radio.
The Late Night Alternative with Iain Lee on Talk Radio.
Kieran, we've just worked out who you are, mate. I'm sorry, I was slow on the uptake. Kieran. I'm sorry, buddy. I should have known we had radio royalty calling in.
Celebrity radio, you mean?
What an absolute bell. Jerry!
Hello.
Hello, Jerry!
How are you doing?
I'm very well, mate, thank you. What have you got for us?
I say big love to Alan's mum.
Sorry?
Big love to
Big love to Alan's mum. Big loves to Alan's mum. There we go.
I know it's Kieran who's listening.
Kieran's listening. Kieran listens every single night. And
I held on for as long as I could, but tell us for
and then he'll send me emails from a made-up name, and then he'll complain to my boss that I've mentioned him. And
it doesn't toss her off. I'll be serious. She's on about 3 in the morning.
There we go. We go round in circles.
But the thing is, if someone's trying to get work out of the sun, it's probably not the best tactic.
I've got a JL for you, the best JL ever.
Oh yeah, go on.
Jack Lord.
Jack Lord! Dun, 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 dun,
The camera turn and the camera zooms in, he turns around. Timing's perfect.
Yep.
Best shot on TV.
Yep. Best shot where he turns to the camera. He's on a balcony and he turns to the camera, and it's a wonderful opening to television, guys. A wonderful opening.
It's the best.
It's the best. What you got for us, Jer?
Not much. Just up and say how you doing.
I'm all right.
You got loads of work, haven't you?
I've got loads of work. It's incredible.
You got more work than Kieran.
I've got well. I know. I wouldn't listen.
Have you got Panto? Only Panto.
I don't think he has Panto anymore either. No, I've got. Do you know what? I do Panto, but I'd have to take more time off this job, and I wouldn't want to do that at the moment. I'm here for another 2 years, so I'm more than happy to crack on. But loads of little TV bits and pieces. I'm doing. What am I doing? I've got the One show on Saturday. Doing a Radio 4 show on Sunday. I've got Good Morning Brit. Loads of. I'm turning work down, Jerry, which is unusual for me.
But the new Mike Morris.
It could be the new Mike Morris. Could be. Jerry, thanks for calling, mate.
Okay, take care.
Ta-ta. Let's go to Chuck Winkle in America. Good evening, Chuck.
Hey, how do you get, cowboy?
Well, it sounds like you've got something wrong with your mouth.
No, I'm afraid I'm the bearer of bad news today, old cowboy.
We're not at war again, are we?
Even worse than that.
Oh.
I don't know how to say this.
Go on, say it. Just say it.
But I'm guessing this is the first year where UK listeners are going to be hearing about this news.
Okay, go on, mate.
Right, be professional, Chuck. Come on.
Okay,
right.
You can do this, buddy.
Diana, Princess of Wales, has died as a result of injuries sustained in a car crash in the Pont de la Mar Road tunnel in Paris, France. Her companion, Dodie Fired, son of a Fired, and then the driver of the Medicine, Henry Paul, were pronounced dead at the scene. A fourth passenger in the car, bodyguard Trevor Rees Jones, was seriously injured but survived. Terrible news for all in UK.
Whew.
People's Princess.
Thanks for that, Chuck. let's hopefully we'll get to talk soon about something a bit more fun.
On behalf of the Americans, I'm sorry.
Thanks, Chuck. Good night.
God bless.
Wow. What a powerful opening to the show. 0344 499 1000 is the telephone number if you want to give us a call. So the figures are in. And he's on Twitter at the moment, so that implies that the two normally tie in. The figures are in, and I can say that the profit that Catherine and I made for our Irish tour at the weekend was £32. That doesn't include the few quid I gave to Thomas Walsh to get a cab or any of the food. £32 doesn't include the food. In fact, the pizza that we ordered, 2 pizzas we ordered, were about 25. So we made £32 we made. That was really, we really ballsed up the maths on that one, didn't we? We really did balls up the maths there. 32 quid. Can you imagine? 0344 499 1000 is the telephone number if you want to give us a call. You know the way this show works. You can call us about absolutely anything you want. Heavy, light, fine, whatever. And unlike other radio shows and podcasters and things like that, if you want to come on and have a pop, you are more than welcome to. You heard me talking to Kieran. Yeah? You heard me talking to Kieran earlier on, and you can come on and have a pop. Is it the same guy?
I think so. I mean, he's attempting a Scouse accent, but he did sound a bit laboured, didn't it?
Can you play his voice? Can we hear his voice? I want to hear. Yeah, it's him.
Of course it is.
Right. Okay.
It explains why he was sounding a bit like one of the Beatles.
And let's listen to him calling us up previously. Here we go. But Andy,
oh no, that's the one I was just playing.
All right.
So here's the one from tonight.
Oh yeah, go on. Let's hear the one from tonight. This is funny. This guy is obsessed with me. It sounds like a dig. I'm going to go a little bit further, and I'm going to ask the question: was that a dig?
Take it as you wish.
Hang on.
Yeah.
It came across
keep
as
going.
rude.
No, I didn't think it was rude. It was just kind of hypothetical and kind of relevant, really.
Kind of uncalled
Okay.
for.
Andy, I don't need your help. The show is not for you, mate. It doesn't work for you. That's fine.
No, it is for me.
No, it's not. It's not the same guy.
And it's also the same theme, him somehow wanting to suggest your career is failing.
Oh, dearie me. Lovely to
Bless him.
get a call from. Can't wait to upload that one on...
Yeah, I've already sent it to Talk Radio.
YouTube page again. Thanks, Alex. What an absolute pudding.
Deary me.
Oh, Alex, you silly sausage. And no, not silly of you. Silly of me, because I was so busy trying to do a nice thing for a guy's mum and for a guy who was worried about his mum that I took my eye off the ball. And you've taught me a very, very valuable lesson. I can't relax for 1 second. Because there will always be jealous, bitter, sad sacks who send me threatening emails and send threatening emails to my boss and send emails from made-up email addresses who threaten to report me to the police. And then when I confront them, they run away, they send me abuse and promise never to contact me again. And then 6 months later, they contact me again.
A little bit obsessive.
It's obsessive. Mate, this has been going on for years, dude. This has been going on for years. Alex, please, for the love of all is holy, your power. Here's the thing, right? Let me just say this now. Alex and John, you are powerless over me. For a while, both of you had me on the back foot. I'm going to be honest. Both of you had me on the back foot and scared me a bit. But for about a year now, and certainly since the jungle, but much longer than that, you're both powerless over me. My wings are like a shield of steel. Remember when this guy told me he'd contacted the police? He gave me a crime number and everything. So I phoned up the police to check, and they said, "Yeah, he's called us, but not about that. It's about something else." So here's the thing, right? That was the moment when the scales fell from my eyes. You two guys are powerless over me, honestly. As I get stronger and stronger, you become smaller and smaller. It's like gnats flying around. Nothing.
I think the trouble with Alex is that he has so many targets, he forgets what he said to each one.
Yeah. Unlucky, buddy. Listen, it was a nice effort. Thanks very much. Do us all a favour. Crawl back under your rock and never darken my door again. Denny, expect a stroppy email from this guy tomorrow saying, why has he mentioned us on his radio show? And I said your surname, buddy. 0344 499 1000.
I'm just going to go and mark his phone number.
Can you mark his phone number? And can we'll log that and put that in the file of stalkers. And if he calls again, we'll contact the police, Alex. 0344 499 1000. This is Talk Radio.
Late night conversation worth losing sleep over. The Late Night Alternative with Iain Lee on Talk Radio.
We have ways of making you talk.
0344 499 1000 is the telephone number if you want to give us a call. So £32 profit we made. Don't spend it all at once, guys.
Profit's profit.
Profit, quids in. Quids in, guys. Profit's profit. 0344 499 1000. Hey, here's some sad news. Apart from, Chuck Winkle just called in to let us know that Princess Diana has died.
What?
Yes. This is sad. Where is it? Why have I written it down? Well, I've done this. Oh, these aren't today's papers. This isn't today's paper. Some of these are today's papers.
Oh, that was just the pile that was next to you.
There we go. This is today's. Here we go. This is today's, I think. Here we go. This is sad news. Paul Simon's London show is a farewell.
Oh.
He's quitting. Paul Simon is billing this summer's London gig as a farewell performance. The American singer, 76, hits Hyde Park on July the 15th for the Homeward Bound show and is expected to add more dates here. I don't want to go and see him in Hyde Park because I've been to a concert at Hyde Park. I've been to sort of McCartney at Hyde Park and it was just silly. Just silly, really. It was too big. The full title, at Barclaycard British Summertime, what the heck, is Homeward Bound, the final performance. And insiders think it could be his last UK tour.
Oh, they think.
Well, the final performance, that 2 years ago, Simon says retire. 2 years ago, Simon said he was close to retiring and that showbiz doesn't hold any interest. James King, Senior Vice President of AEG Presents, said the star would take London through one of the most remarkable songbooks in history. Simon's first UK solo gig was in 1964 at Brentwood's Railway Hotel Folk Club. I was quite late coming to the Paul Simon is a poet thing. It was a couple of years ago. And I bought a box set of all of the Simon and Garfunkel albums. And they're not all marvellous. The early ones are a little bit ropey, but they're wonderful. And then I bought a box set of the Paul Simon stuff, which I still have. This is that thing I do where I buy a box set. I've got the box set of that, the box set of Harry Nilsson, the box set of George Harrison, and I've listened to like one album and then I see something else bright and shiny over there, which I want to grab. The
newest Paul Simon I bought, because I grew up with Paul Simon and Garfunkel. That was my mum and dad's thing.
Oh, you mean the music?
I'm not quite as old as they are.
They hadn't adopted you or something, right?
Gosh,
sorry.
I mean, that would be a story, wouldn't it? But no, sadly not. They couldn't agree on custody because they can barely speak to each other sometimes. Yeah. But no, I grew up with them and with their music. But when I was getting married, there was a song called Father and Daughter. Oh my goodness, yes. That one did me in. So I had that album called Surprise, and it's quite a good one.
Yep. Well, he's good, and his last album was good as well, and he does good things, and he's still brilliant, so more of that, please. More Paul Simon is what I'm saying. More Paul Simon would be absolutely wonderful. 0344 499 1000 is the telephone number if you want to give us a call. Yes. Okay. If you want to give us a call, you're very, very welcome. I think we might have used up all of the calls in the first 25 minutes of the show.
If people called up for the silence, I know we don't normally have a one-call rule, but as they didn't really speak, are they allowed to ring again?
Yeah, of course they're allowed to.
Okay.
Of course they're allowed to.
There you go, then.
Ring. I was slightly distracted because during the interval I was watching... someone sent me a clip of Amir Khan's press conference. I can play it. I play it. It's visual... But because now I sort of know Amir a little bit. I mean, we had a nice chat at the National Television Awards, where I saw his watch. Flipping heck, his watch was just ridiculously bling. And I've been invited to his boxing match, which I think is in Liverpool on April the 12th. I think that's. When it is. So I'm going to go, I think I might go to that. But someone's just sent me the press conference, and it's him sat next to his dad, who I met his dad, he's a lovely guy, and then there's someone in the middle, I can't find it now, and it was, I guess, the guy that he's going to be fighting, the other boxer, and go on, Sam, we'll take him. And the other boxer says something, and Amir is just sat there. Where is it? Why can't I find it? He's just sat there, getting more and more wound up, and then he stands up and throws a glass of water in his face, and it all kind of kicks off, and there's that noise of oh no going on. There's that, but I can't find it anyway. So I'm kind of watching that. I've never been to a boxing match before, and I'm quite interested to see what happens and to feel the. I'm quite keen to feel the vibe there, because I bet it's exciting. There'll be the visceral energy of two men
going at it,
just smashing the living crap out of each other. And, however many, 15,000 people, however many it is, cheering and getting excited. And I'm totally up for that. I'm totally up for that. I don't have an ethical problem with boxing. Don't have an ethical problem with it.
I wonder whether it's different, because you see it on television and there's that level of distance there.
Yeah.
I've seen fights in the street and I find them quite disturbing.
Well, fights in the street are different from fight in the street would be horrendous, of course, yeah.
But these are trained fighters who are hurting each other more.
Yeah. But of course they are.
So I'm wondering whether that's, I don't know.
Well,
I'd like to see it.
I'd like to see it. I'd like to see it. Good evening, Andre.
Hi. Listen, just a quick one, Ian, yeah?
Yeah.
Look, now, someone referred to me, right, this is a bit of a funny one.
Yeah.
As a person on a bike going past, right?
Yes.
Shouting abuse at people, right? Not abuse, but just silly things.
Yes.
Like, I suppose you're sitting there listening and talking down the microphone, and Kath is helping you, and you're answering people back and stuff like this.
Yes.
Now, I don't know if you see this on
This
Twitter,
is even more incoherent than usual, Andre.
Do you know what I mean, though, Ian?
No, I've got no idea what you mean. What do you talk? Start again. Start the point again. There's a man on a bike shouting abuse at people.
Yeah, the abusive person on a bike or something. Imagine I'm that person, yeah.
Are you on the bike? Are you on the bike, or are you the pedestrian?
Yeah. I'm on the bike,
right.
yeah?
And who are you shouting abuse at?
Anyone who's swimming near me.
Why are you doing that?
I don't know, 'cause it's just the abusive person on a push bike, yeah?
Okay, you're an abusive person on a push bike.
Are you wearing a helmet?
Right. Not wearing one, no.
Oh, gosh.
He is a helmet.
Right,
yes.
Well, Ian, I suppose you're on the end of a microphone with earphones on, aren't you?
Yes.
Are you talking down it and listening at the same time?
Well, yes.
And has Kath got earphones on and talking down at the
she
same
has.
time?
Yes.
Are you having a good time tonight?
We're having a great time. I'm trying to see which one of us is the cyclist.
I suppose you're making a few notes there and having a good evening.
Good evening, yes.
Yes, very good, and I suppose you have a good night again tomorrow night.
OK, well, thanks for calling.
Thank you, and see ya.
Wow. That started at 10:52, if you want to send it off to our man. Maybe Kieran was right. Maybe the jungle was a bad move.
We had Andre before the jungle.
We had who?
Andre. Sorry.
Andre the Giant. 0344 499 1000 is the telephone number if you want to give us a call. Don't forget, by the way, we talked about going to Ireland and all of that. We went there to record a little show we do called The Rabbit Hole. It comes out every Thursday morning, a brand new episode, and you can get it by going to Acast or iTunes or your usual podcast providers. And I should also say, because we've got loads of new listeners, and I haven't really been mentioning this for ages, there's also a daily podcast of this show that you can get. Again, it's on iTunes. It's on your usual podcast providers, OK? So if you go in and you type in Late Night Alternative, Iain Lee, it will come up. And if you subscribe to it, because this is a business that is driven by numbers, so the higher the numbers, the better we look in everyone's eyes. This is why I keep retweeting these little 2-minute video clips. And whenever I give Kath a time, like I did just then, that's because I thought, well, the last 2 minutes might look good as one of those little clips. But so if you download it, if you subscribe, if you could subscribe from multiple accounts, and here's the thing, for both the Rabbit Hole and the Talk Radio podcasts, if you do like them and enjoy, if you do get them via iTunes, I know a lot of people are very anti iTunes, but if you do get them from there, it helps our cause and it helps new people discover them. If you give us, I don't want to be presumptuous, but 4 or 5 star review, guys. And if you're giving a 4-star, just think, why have we lost a star? If you give us a 5-star review and just type a few words, the kind of the more reviews and the more star ratings we have, the way iTunes work is a strange old fish. But basically, the more people might stumble across it by accident. You see, if they see podcast they've not heard of and it's got 300 5 stars, then they might go for it. So that would be really helpful if you subscribe and if you write comments and leave reviews. If you use iTunes, if you don't have the time to do that, you don't have to, but it would be helping us, and it would save a puppy. So, another 2 hours of this nonsense to go. We've talked about Paul Simon. We've talked about, we've conducted a kind of spiritual healing seminar. We've talked about career choices and whether I've made good or bad. I've certainly made bad in the past. If you want to phone up, if you want to say something positive, negative, whatever, I think this is probably the only show in the country and one of a handful in the world where you can phone up and you can have a go at me and say you think I'm crap, or you can say, the jungle was great. You phone up whatever you want, and you'll get on. And we'll, expect to have something back, but we'll have a robust discussion. Or if you just want to phone up and play silly word games, we can do that nonsense as well. 0344 499 1000 is the phone number. You'll speak to Sam. He will call you back. My name is Iain Lee. This is the Late Night Alternative. You're listening, of course, to Talk Radio.
Across the UK, online and on DAB.
Take a far-out trip into the twilight zone of late-night radio with Iain Unmissable late-night radio with the original king of unconventional conversation. Make contact with Iain Lee. The Late Night Alternative with Iain Lee on Talk Radio.
Oh, 0344 499 1000 is the telephone number if you want to give us a call. Good evening, Simon.
Good evening.
Good evening, Simon.
I can tell you what Andre's on about.
What on earth is he on about? I had absolutely no idea.
Well, it was pointed out to me by another listener last night.
Yes.
If you go, there's a programme, I've not seen it myself, but it's called Modern Toss.
Oh, yes, Modern Toss, yes.
If you go to YouTube and type in drive-by abuser...
Yes.
There's a guy that drives past people on a moped, and he sounds just like Andre.
Oh, OK.
So have a listen.
So that's what he's talking about.
Yeah, but it's hilarious.
Well. I've not seen the programme. I've read the books and I've seen the cartoons, but I've certainly not seen... I was unaware there was a programme of it.
No, I didn't. I've never heard of it. But I was tweeted a link to a clip. The clip I saw today was if you type in drive-by abuser, it comes up. It's about the third or fourth one down, and it's got a picture of a windmill on it.
Yeah.
And this guy keeps driving past on a moped, and he's out just like Andre.
OK, that kind of makes sense. But why was he going about it in such a ridiculously roundabout way?
I don't know. I think because somebody maybe said to him something, or he caught the tail end of something, maybe.
I think he caught the tail end of a can of lager. I think that's what that may have been.
Well, but it is uncanny. It is uncanny how this guy sounds just like him.
OK. Nice one, Simon. Thank you, man. Cheers, my dears. Ta-ta. There we go. Bye-bye. 0344 499 1000 is the telephone number if you want to give us a call. This is the Late Night Alternative with Iain Lee on Talk Radio. You can call in about absolutely anything you want. I should say, next week we've got Tony Hendra coming on the show, a name that may mean nothing to you, but... he was one of the people very early on at the National Lampoon magazine, which is something I'm only just getting familiar with after seeing the film on Netflix. I can never remember the title. Something and something gesture, a silly and futile gesture, pointless, stupid and pointless gesture, something like that. And it's a really, really good film, which I thoroughly enjoyed. But I knew nothing about the National Lampoon before seeing this, and it's quite some story. Doug Kenny, I think his name. I can't remember his name. The guy that founded it, and so I saw that, and then I watched Drunk, Stoned, Brilliant, Stupid. No, Drunk, Stoned, Brilliant, Dead. That was it. Which is a documentary about Doug Kenny and National Lampoon, and I watched that, and it's fascinating because it's basically it was obviously the National Lampoon movies and Caddyshack and Animal House, but also the first tranche of Saturday Night Live performers. Most of them were poached from National Lampoon, but also because I am absolutely fascinated by Chevy Chase, and Chevy kind of pops up in this documentary and in this film quite a lot. And since the old Mike Reed interviewing Chevy Chase at the Hammersmith Odeon fiasco, I've remembered that I find Chevy Chase absolutely fascinating. I find him fascinating, partly because he's known for being quite tricky, partly because he used to take loads and loads of drugs, and partly because I think he's brilliant. I love a lot of his films, but there's just something about him. There's just something about him that grabs my fancy, and I find myself really drawn to him. But there's not that much out there. I think, did he have an autobiography? I think it was an autobiography, which I read and doesn't really, it's kind of very, very superficial. It doesn't go into details much. But apart from that, there's very little else about him out there. So I'm trying to find as many Chevy scraps as I can, and there's not many. So this was a good find, and I thoroughly enjoyed it, and I thoroughly recommend it. So you can watch the stupid and pointless, stupid and futile gestures on Netflix, and the documentary is it's floating around. I watched it on Now TV because I got 2 months free when I bought my PlayStation 4. Imagine that. 0344 499 1000 is the phone number if you want to give us a call. Neil was there and Neil's just gone. I don't think it's going to be. I think Neil's going to phone in with another crap joke. You'll see what time. When you're flagging it up by tweeting me and telling me that's what's going to happen, I kind of get the idea. 0344 499 1000 is the telephone number if you want to give us a call. Neil, we sit here, we await it. We await it with bated breath.
Sorry, I think there was a cross line then. I was put through to TalkSport.
Oh, I can
just put me...
only apologise.
That's all right. It's the sister station, so it's acceptable.
Okay, well, they work for us, guys. They work for us. What you got for us?
Well, it's my birthday today.
Here we go. We're all sat here with bated breath. Happy birthday.
Thank you. 33 years young.
Yes.
Basically, I got some birthday money.
Yeah.
And went into town.
Yes.
Went into a clothes shop.
Oh, yes.
Had a little look around and, a few T-shirts, jeans. I've got one pair of jeans, so I don't need another.
No, I've got about 6 pairs of jeans now, and they're all in quite good nick.
Yeah, I mean, one's all you need in life, really.
Well, I would say two is all you need, because then one's in the wash, you can wear the other one.
Well, anyway.
Yes.
Moving on.
Sorry, I don't want to ruin the gag for you, so we'll carry on. Yes.
In the corner, there was a hat stand.
Oh, yeah.
So I went over and had a crepe.
Yes.
And the security guard come over and accosted me, and I said, "What are you doing, mate?"
Here it comes.
I only wanted a crepe.
Yes.
And he kicked me out. I said, "I only wanted a crepe hat." And he said, "Don't talk about my hats like that."
Okay. Right. No.
It sounded better when I thought about it.
Yeah. Because, right, okay. How many of these can we expect tonight, Neil?
Well, I think for the crepe jokes, that's all I've
Well, you're
got,
not really, but you're kind of, you're fudging the pronunciation.
Of crepe?
Well, yeah, I suppose. Okay, thanks, Neil. Hello? Yeah, thanks for calling. I'm saying goodbye now.
I've got another joke.
Oh, God, okay, go on.
2 owls in a bar having a game of pool.
Yes.
And one pots the white by mistake.
Oh.
And he says, 2 hits. And the other one says, 2 hits to who?
Okay. So please never call me again.
Okay.
Thanks very much indeed. That really is... Wowzers. I mean, I struggle. Here's the thing. I struggle with jokes. When people come up to me, and they don't do it very often, but now I work in an office. I talk radio office. Now I work in an office. People will occasionally approach me and say, hey, here's a joke. And it just fills me with absolute dread. Because I don't find jokes very funny, and it's an imposition for the person telling. It's an imposition on me. It's basically someone saying, I have got something, and at the end of this 30, 60 seconds, you have to laugh, otherwise you're rude. That's what the setup is, because you can't go at the end of it go. Why? What did either of us get out of that exchange? You just can't. So the least you can do is go. But more often than not, what is expected is you going. Oh, nice one, thanks, man. Anyway, those reports, how are they looking? Not that I've ever had to ask anybody for a report in a workplace. That's a ridiculous thing to suggest. Of course it is. But so I don't like it when people tell me jokes. And here's another thing. I don't really like stand-up comedy. When was the last time I went to see... I'm going to go and see Shappy, because I like Shappy, and I think she's very funny. We're going to get her on the show. She sent me a copy of her book yesterday, and I keep saying, you must come on the show. And I realised that for that to actually happen, I have to send her a date and say, would you like to come on the show that date? That's how it works, and I always forget that. But the thought of going... I'll go and see a comedian's show. Like if they're doing like an hour-long show, I'll go and see a comedian's show because I'm buying into their world, into the universe that they are creating. But going to see like an evening where it's like 3 stand-ups and then an interval and then another 3 stand-ups, I can't think the last time I did that. Certainly haven't paid for that experience for maybe even 20 years. I've been in environments where that's happened, where I've been doing like a little bit of stand-up and I've just, stuck around for a bit. But the thought of plonking down like 10, 15 quid to go and see 6 comics, it just... I don't know. It makes me anxious. 0344 499 1000 is the phone number. I'm Iain Lee. This is Talk Radio.
Experience the unconventional,
Evening, boss.
the unpredictable, and the completely unorthodox.
Exactly.
With rule-free Iain Lee. The Late Night Alternative with Iain Lee.
I've got no internet for the last 4 days.
On Talk Radio.
0344 499 1000 is the telephone number if you want to give me a call this evening. It's quiet on the phones this evening, and that's fine because it means I can just get to sit here and chat absolute nonsense into the void, which is always a pleasurable thing to do. I imagine that most of you are out there looking at the super bad moon or whatever it's called, I saw it as I was driving in. Listen, I'm a fan of the moon. Who isn't a fan of the moon these days? What idiots out there aren't? But as I was driving in, I thought, it's not really, it's not blowing my mind. Now, I know in America tonight, when tonight will ever be for them, I don't know, that it's going to be a blood moon, so it'll look red. But the moon here, it's a little bit... It's a little bit... Not really doing it for me. 0344 499 1000 is the telephone number if you want to give me a call. The papers have got it in for Nicky Knowles, haven't they? He's on the front page everywhere. They've got it in for Nicky Knowles. And, I know we've had it in for Nicky Knowles. But part of me feels a little bit sorry for him. DIY SOS presenter Nick Knowles looks serious as he leaves LA for Britain, all dressed in black, for crunch talks with his estranged wife. Well, he doesn't look serious. He just looks like he's walking down the street pulling a suitcase, and he is all in black, but it's black jeans and a black T-shirt. It's not exact. I wouldn't read too much into that. But seconds before that picture, he may have been smiling. Who knows? His mood has not lifted. His mood had not lifted when he landed at Heathrow to try and sort this mess out. I do think with all of this stuff, and I'm not going to read any more of this story out loud. It's none of our business, is it? It's not really any of our business. Who cares? It's the same with Anne from Ant and Dec and all this stuff about him and his miss. Who cares? I don't care. It's nothing to do with me. Just like what's going on at home with me is nothing to do with, doesn't do with anyone apart from the people involved. And getting divorced and all of that stuff. It turns out it's painful and it's hideous and it's horrendous. And so why don't we just let these people and just get on with it and do their own thing and wish everyone the very best that we can. It's nothing to do with us. It's none of our business, guys. absolutely none of our business. This is a story that I kind of, I've kind of missed. But it turns out it's been everywhere. A rogue soldier believed to be violently robbing wealthy victims may have been evading police for over a decade. He's got a name. He's only gone and got a name. The Night Watcher. Wowzers. The Night Watcher has stolen valuables worth around £10 million. Professional and well-spoken. With military calm and confidence, he is blamed for at least 7 raids across the southeast of England. Imagine! Evening, Amanda.
Hello, good evening.
Good evening, Amanda.
Hi. I think it's when you were in Luton you mentioned about facial dyslexia.
Yes.
And I actually didn't know that was a thing. I mean, I knew that I had a problem with faces, but I didn't know I had a label. Anyway.
Yes.
So, 1997, I went to pick my daughter up at Crepe, and it was in South Africa, and they weren't so strict there as they are here. Anyway, they just used to open the door and let the kids run out. She was 3 then.
Yes. Oh.
And this wee girl came running up.
Yes.
And I was like, hi. She was like, hi. How are you? I'm good. And I took her hand and we walked to the car. And we got in the car.
Oh.
And she didn't sit down as normal as my daughter did. She was still standing there, and I said, sit down, what are you doing? Sit down. And she looked at me and she said, when's Jacqueline coming? Where's Jacqueline? And I got such a fright.
Oh.
They had the same clothes on.
You'd snatched a child.
I snatched the wrong child.
Wow. Because my facial dyslexia, I recognise my children.
Well, I didn't.
But I don't know. You know, I know my boys, and I know them by their sight, and I know them by their hair, and I know them by the way they walk, and I know them by their smell, and all of that. But grown-ups, I would struggle with.
Well, you see, they had the same hairdo, and it happened to be a wee friend. They had the same hairdo, and they actually had the same shorts and T-shirt on that day. So I can be slightly forgiven, but I got such a fright, though. I couldn't get her out the car quick enough. I was like, oh, my God.
Yes.
Get this child out of my car, and I took her back. And
Have you ever done that thing, one of my favourite things in the world, and it's only happened to me, I'm going to say 4 times in my 45 years, right, is getting into the wrong car while there's someone in the car.
No.
Oh, no, you've not done that?
No, I've got into... My key opened somebody else's car.
Yeah.
Honda Ballad. I used to drive a white Honda Ballad.
Yes.
And I got in the car, and I had an argument with my partner the night before, and he wanted to take the CD player out and change it to a tape recorder. That was also in the 90s, right? I got in the car, sat down, and I seen it was a tape recorder, and I went, that sweary word has gone and changed that. Then I looked down at the floor and I realised my bag wasn't there. My key had allowed me, it wasn't a, it was a proper key, it had allowed me to go into someone else's car.
Well, hang on, here's the thing, right, here's the thing, and I know it's all digital and stuff now, but, this is what I don't understand about keys, okay? Right. How many variations can you make? Right, supposing we've both got like Yale locks on our front door, right?
Yeah.
Like the Yale key is like 1 inch long. How many different variations can they put onto 1 inch long bit of metal to fit into the key? So there must be there must be doubles. There must be Yale keys that will open, your house, but then will also open number 62, the High Street in Luton or something. There must be.
There must be.
There can't be. There can't be an infinite number of key possibilities.
No.
And then the same with the blip keys for the cars. You know where you zap the car?
Mm-hmm.
Right. They must come with it. They must be like a different... They must be. I'm trying to work this out. I've never considered how a car key unlocks a car. Right. There must be a frequency, right? They must operate within a certain frequency. So, like, low, like, ooh, and then high, ooh. And within that, there can only be a finite amount of frequencies. So car keys must open at least 3 cars. I think I got to the end of that point successfully.
I'm not sure.
That noise indicates that I didn't, but you're going to ignore it like a sensible person and move on.
Can we talk about taxidermists?
Of course we can. They're my favourite kind of people.
Okay, well, I don't really know them, but last year I was looking into it because I told you about my poor wee Bonnie the other night.
Yes.
And I'm sorry about this, Wayne. This time last year,
yes,
she actually got one of her eyes taken out.
Sorry?
One of her eyes.
Wow. How did that happen?
Oh, she had a terrible abscess and then it formed a hole and I was treating it for about 3 months at the vet twice a week. And then they said, no, we'll have to take her eye out.
Hey.
So she got her eye out and it was horrendous. She had a terrible recovery period after it. Her eye, it was like a big, the eye socket was like a big golf ball. But anyway, she's beautiful.
Yes.
And she'll be 16 in May. I've had her all these years. And my plan was to have her stuffed when she dies.
Oh,
yeah. We Maltese can live till they're like 19.
Yeah.
But now she's only got one eye.
Well, hang on. When they stuff them, they don't use the original eyes. Surely they do. They do buttons or something, don't they?
I don't know. When I looked into it, it wasn't actually last year, but I think it was the year before. Because whoever you get to do, because you mentioned, I think, about your cat, and you've got to plan it all ahead.
Yes.
You've got to inform them, and they want a deposit. They want something like a £2,000 deposit.
So, hang on. Whoa. This is to stuff a cat, a dog.
Well, it was. That price was for a small dog or a cat, and my dog's smaller than.
Were you not tempted to do it yourself? I've stuffed a mouse.
Oh no!
Oh, I've done that. I've done taxidermy on a mouse.
I can't even put my hand in a chicken or a turkey.
Oh no! I would love. Would you not the creature that you've loved almost the most in your life? Would you not like to see what's going on inside? Here's the thing. Here's the weird thing, right? And I think this applies to all animals. And I'm going to say it. I think it applies to humans, but I don't know, right? But when I stuffed this mouse, right, so you do a slit from its throat down to its, you slit along its belly, okay, so you can take everything out. Mm-hmm. And everything, this is absolutely true, right? Everything inside the mouse, like the bones and the gut and all of that, it's in a sack.
Oh.
There's a sack. So all of the organs are in this sack. So you can just kind of scoop the thing out. Now, this is why you've got to cut really carefully, because if you cut too hard, then you can cut the sack and everything goes everything kind of pours out. But it's all contained, all of the organs, the liver, the kidney, the whatnots. Maybe not the whatnots. It's contained within a sack.
Okay.
Imagine.
What about the eyes then? What did you do? Did you leave the mouse with its eyes, or did you go and buy wee?
I think we put. I seem to remember because it was a mouse. You could use those googly eyes that children use for their pictures. I think I might be wrong. I think it was googly eyes.
Uh-huh.
Amanda, thank you very much for that. I just don't know. I just don't remember. But surely, if I'd love to see what's inside Velvet, my cat, who is going to be 19. 19 in March. I'd love to see what's inside her. And you're not allowed to do it while they're alive. You've got to wait for them to die. That's just the way it goes. But, times are coming. You wait. When my cat dies, we're going to have a week of shows. There's going to be black armbands. There's going to be... I'm going to bring her in. There's going to be... Oh, man, it's going to be a really miserable week of shows for you guys. That's all I can say. Ewan, stay there. 03444991000. I'm Iain Lee. This is Talk Radio.
It's electric. It's eclectic. It's always rule-free. It's the late-night alternative with that man, Iain Lee. On Talk Radio.
It's a phone-in show unlike any other phone-in show in the world. You can listen to us on DAB radio. You can download the Talk Radio app for free for iPhone and Android and all your phones, basically. Or you can listen online at talkradio.co.uk. And you can phone in about absolutely anything you want. We've talked about Paul Simon. We have talked about we haven't talked about crystal healing. We've talked about spiritual healing. We've talked about sending good vibes across the network. We've talked about stuffing cats. So you can call in about literally anything you want. 0344 499 1000. Ewan, no, let's get this right. How do we say your name correctly? Hello?
Hello.
Jeez. Hello there. Good evening, caller.
Good evening.
Good evening, caller. What would you like to say?
Well, I would just like to say I've been for a little sort of a job interview today.
Okay. Aren't you at college?
No, I'm only there 4 days a week.
Okay, fine. Okay, so you went for a little job interview.
Well, yeah, it's sort of a job interview, but it's not. But I say sort of because it's like volunteering work, but I still class it as a job interview because obviously you still have to go and do an induction.
You still have to go and do work, but you're offering your services for free. You're volunteering.
Yes, because I'm living in Kent.
Okay.
So it was at the local hospital radio.
Mm-hmm.
And I did went there last year, but it's all changed and new now. So that's why I went for an induction, because it's totally up to date and it's lovely. They're run by different people at the moment. And I know one of the people actually that work, they do listen to your shows and say it's really interesting.
Okay, well, I would suggest you don't give this gentleman an opportunity. He's a fruitcake. Hope that helps. Hope that helps.
Thank you.
So what did you go in there for? To be a presenter?
Yeah, and I went there
wheels
last
of steel.
year.
Yes.
Actually, if I could, if you wanted to, it's obviously up to you. But when I get the job, I could always tell you when I'm on it. You could always listen to me. I'm not. I don't know what I sound like, but I'm just going from what people have told me, and they think I'm quite good. And one of the presenters, they do listen to your talk shows, and they said they used me last weekend, and they said they actually enjoyed me coming on to your shows.
Oh, they enjoyed you coming on like a seventh sense.
Onto you, because they rang me up the other day and said, can I ask you a question? I was like, yeah. They was like, was that your voice? I heard you speaking to Iain Lee on his talk radio show. I was like, yes. They was like, well, I can tell he's a bit famous. You're very lucky.
Well, I was hoping you were going to keep talking then. I've got a frog in my throat. I believe I've swallowed a particle of what can only be described as dust. And it's making me cough. Go on.
Oh, good. And they was like, you do know he works on Loose Women, mind? I was like, no, but I'll check him out. They was like, they texted me then, he was on Loose Women, and I was watching you. I was like, oh my God, that's Iain Lee. I was only speaking to him the other night. And
I was on Loose Women!
Yeah, I was shocked. I felt so proud. I was like, oh God, there's Iain Lee. I speak to him on the talk radio. The late
We're not friends. You know that we're not friends, don't you?
No, I know that.
Okay, good, because some people, I think, don't quite get that.
No, you can't. You can't be friends. There's steps to a relationship. I learned this in college.
Sorry?
I said I've learned this in college.
What have you learned? There are steps to a relationship.
Yeah, it's a friendship. You can't be friends with someone if you've never met them.
Yeah. Okay. Stranger danger.
Yeah, we've talked about this. Stranger danger.
Yes. Stranger danger gets the same noise that a wrong answer on Family Fortunes gets.
But it is nice to join people as a guest on this show, and especially you. It is a pleasure.
Okay,
to have me on.
Well, you're sucking up to me now, and that means I'm going to cut you off.
Okay,
thanks very much indeed. Evening, David.
Good evening, Iain, you absolute legend. How are you, sir?
I'm all right, thank you very much. I've got a croaky throat, but a cup of tea has just arrived, so that makes things all the better.
That'll see you through, my friend. That'll see you through.
That'll see me through, buddy!
Very quick. There's a possible of 10 million combinations to a Yale key.
That's not many, is it?
Not to say when we've got billions of people, not really, mate, no. So
How many? There are about 65 million people living in Britain.
Yeah, so that's at least 7 keys that have got the same, the same key.
How do you know there are 10 million different versions of a Yale key? Different possibilities?
After you said it, I Googled it because I needed to know as well. These are the questions that need answers.
Let's work this out. So there's about 65 million people in Britain. I think there's something like, have I got this right, 35 million households?
Oh, I'm not sure on that.
That doesn't sound a lot, actually. 35. Maybe 40 million.
I'm not sure that every house has got a Yale key.
No, exactly. So let's say 40 million households. Let's say 30 million. 3/4 will have a Yale lock.
Oh, do you reckon that high?
Yeah, of course they have. Yale's the most popular.
Either way, I definitely think that there's more than one version of a key across the UK, mate, definitely.
This is exciting stuff. I wonder. And, you know, when I was a kid, I used to collect keys. I was a weird kid. I used to collect keys because I wanted to go and solve mysteries and crimes and things. Okay. And I read like, it was like a Famous Five book or something, and one of the kids collected loads of keys, so that if ever they had to, like, break into a house or something, he would just go through his keys and one of the keys would fit. So I did that. But then you'd hear talk of a Skellington key, wouldn't you?
Yeah, we've heard of a Skellington.
Does a Skellington key actually exist?
I believe so, yeah, but it's only for certain types of door or locks, I believe. But yeah, there are such things as skeleton keys that open, a numerous amount of doors, etc. Yeah, definitely. Have you ever had a set of keys that are in, like, your old junk drawer that you've never known where they've gone to? Or
oh, God, yeah, of course.
House they belong to, and you still got them, but you don't want to throw them away.
No, of course. Yeah, of course. I've got keys. I remember it was when we moved last time, so that was only 4 years ago, and I had a Yale key that I'd had for years, like before I'd even met my wife, and I didn't have a clue what it was. I've got a feeling it might have been the front door key to a girl I met in Edinburgh like 20 years ago, right? But I didn't know for sure. And I could never. It was only when we moved. I couldn't throw it away until then, just in case.
Yeah, you never know. You just think if you came to that door and that's the key that you needed, but you threw it away the week before.
Exactly. Have you ever had one of those thieves come to your house? Sorry, not thieves, locksmiths. When you've locked yourself out.
I've had to access a property before for a friend. Let's put it that way. Yeah.
Okay, right, and that's mysterious. And the locksmith, got the locksmith on the phone. He says, "I'll be there in 2 hours. It's 150 quid, cash only." All right, mate. Right, fair play. I get it. And I used to get locked out quite a lot. And as long as the door isn't bolt locked, right? They always come and go, is it bolt locked? And this time it wasn't. And I said, how are you going to get in? He said, it's easy. And he went up to the door and he did something, and then the door was open. I was like, flipping heck. And the next time I did it, I made a point of watching what he did, and it was a Yale lock, to pop open the Yale lock, right? And it wasn't locked. Do you know how they do it?
Credit card.
What they do is they get a little bit of bendy plastic, right?
Yeah.
And they slip it, and they slide it through behind the Yale, and they can slide it through past the lock, so it goes round the lock and pops the lock out. And so the third time I got locked out, the fella came again, and
he must have liked you, Ian.
Yeah, I know, idiot. I mean, this is over a period of years, but and he didn't have his bendy thing, right? His little bit of bendy plastic, which he didn't know I'd seen. And he said, "Have you got?" And he saw I had a water bottle, plastic, bottle of water. And he said, "Have you finished with that?" I said, "Yeah." He said, "Can I borrow that?" I said, "You're not going to get in with this." He said, "Yeah, I am." I said, "Can I watch?" He said, "No, you're not allowed to." So he made me turn around, but I saw what he did. Right, he cut the bottle open. So he just used the plastic from a plastic bottle because it's nice and flexible, and he slipped it in the lock. And so since then, if I've been locked out of a door that's just a Yale lock, and it's not bolt locked, get a plastic bottle, slip it in, open it up.
Careful, you might be incriminating yourself here, mate.
I am not the night watcher. But then I would say
I've
that.
got to leave you with my cheesiest joke. I know you don't like
Oh,
the
for
joke.
God, now you make me feel uncomfortable.
You don't have to laugh. You don't have to laugh, Ian, but I think you will.
Go on.
Jesus said unto John, come forth, and I shall give you eternal life. But he came third, so he got a toaster. Come on.
Oh, mate, you see, and this is the thing, because everyone... Now we're going to end on a sour note, because everyone thinks their joke is funny.
Oh, well, I think it's down to your own personal humour. I'm sorry, I've left a bitter taste in your mouth here, and I apologise.
David, stick it up your bum. Thanks for calling, mate.
Good evening, sir. Take care.
Ta-ta. 03444 991 1000 is the telephone number if you want to give us a call. I'm Iain Lee. This is Talk Radio.
Set free your mind. Let your fancy take flight. Conversation gets curiouser by the glow of moonlight.
The Late Night Alternative with Iain Lee on Talk Radio.
0344 499 1000 is the telephone number. Now, Darren has tweeted me. And Darren looks like an honest guy. He's got a beard and a child. He says, my Yale key for my childhood house was exactly the same as the one for a friend's house down the road. What are the chances of that? We found out by chance, led to a very funny afternoon. They changed their locks after. See, there's got to be loads of Yale keys that are the same. There's got to be. Paul is in Liverpool. Good evening, Paul.
Good evening, Ian. How are you, sir? Hello?
Yeah, I thought we'd ended this relationship.
Well, we did, but I listened to your show tonight.
Paul,
Amanda was on.
Paul, I honestly, no, thank you.
Okay, Ian, no problem.
Thanks
Take
a lot.
Care, mate.
There we go. No, I'm not having that. I'm not having that. 0344 499 1000, unless you're a former member of the BNP, and in which case, nah, I don't think so. Not even for sport. I wouldn't do it even for sport, guys. Quincy Jones has 22 girlfriends. WTF? The 84-year-old, are they girlfriends or are they nurses? Someone should clarify this. The 84-year-old thriller producer, who has 6 daughters and a son, is romantically involved with a string of women around the world, and they are all aware of one another. He said, I got 22 girlfriends. Hell yeah. Everywhere. Cape Town, Cairo, Stockholm, Rio, Few. Don't know where Few is, but we'll look it up on Google Maps, and when we have an answer, we'll get back to you. Asked if they know about one another, he told America's GQ magazine, yeah, I don't lie. I think Quincy Jones lies. That man's not got 22 girlfriends. What a strange thing for an 84-year-old man to lie about. What else did Quincy Jones do? Here we go. We can talk about ill-judged albums by artists. Didn't Frank Sinatra, didn't he do like a disco album with Quincy Jones? Have I got that right? He rushes to YouTube to try and find out if there was a Quincy Jones, Frank Sinatra. Okay, this is okay. Well, let's have a listen to Mac the Knife. This is Frank Sinatra and Quincy Jones doing Mac the Knife. Now, it may be a decent stab at it. Let's see.
Not exist if he did not exist.
Hang on.
And he shows them pearly white. Just a jackknife has Mac Heath, dear.
Well, it's not disco, but it's not good either.
Way out of sight. When the shark bites with his teeth, dear.
I'm sure they did. I'm sure they did something. Hang on, let me try this. Maybe I've got it. I might have got it totally wrong. Here we go. Here we go. Here we go. Here we go. Here we go.
The music she moves to is music that makes me a dancer.
Just Frank Sinatra with synthesizers is not a good sound, is it? Really?
I leave behind a part of myself.
It's the same bass player that did the bass runs for Seinfeld, I think.
But oh, when I'm back in her arms, she smiles and then I am home again. God, L.A. is my lady.
No, I mean, it really is a little bit of a stinker, isn't it? It really is. I'm reminded, of course, of the Beach Boys. And I like the Beach Boys' 12-minute disco song, Here Comes the Night. I personally, it sticks out like a sore thumb on side 2 of the 1979 album, L.A., Light album, which I think is a great album. But it apparently the one time the Beach Boys performed their disco song, Here Comes the Night, live in concert, they were booed. And I can kind of see that, but and it happened 2 years after disco ended. You know, the Beach Boys, that weird thing of the Beach Boys constantly trying to be hip when they didn't need to try and be hip. They were the flipping Beach Boys. They should that was hip enough. Them being unhip was what made them hip. So doing a disco song was seen by many as a terrible idea, but I thought it was a good record, and I thoroughly enjoyed it. There's a new 50 Shades of Grey movie out, guys, and bad news, it's the last film in the trilogy. I didn't know the second one had come out. I'd missed that. And there's a double-page spread in the middle of the Daily Star. Sing hosannas. It's time for the climax. Oh, because that could mean a sexual climax or the climax to a movie trilogy. It means both. As the 50 Shades saga comes to an end next week, after 3 movies in 3 years, the series finishes with 50 Shades Freed, out on February the 9th. Just in time for Valentine's Day. Based on the books by E.L. James, the story of sex-obsessed Christian Grey and his blushing lover, Anastasia Steele. I went and saw the first film. Dear God. It was absolutely terrible. We took an old man, when we were at another radio station, we took an old man, Dennis, who hasn't called us for a while. He may well be dead now. I'm not, he's 92. There's a strong chance that he's no longer with us. And if he is dead, then he owes me money. I think it's 60 quid we're up to. And we took Dennis along, and the scene where Christian Grey opens the door to his sex dungeon, I guess. Dennis went, "Oh, it looks just like my garage, that does." Although I suspect there are less cock rings in Dennis's garage. The story has set pulses racing worldwide. In this instalment, the newlyweds enjoy a blissful honeymoon across Europe, stopping off for a romantic bonk in Paris, before returning home and straight into trouble. So what will happen to the couple as their tale of sex, love, and BDSM concludes. Nadine Ling reveals everything you need to know. Jesus. Should we? There's nothing else. There's nothing else in the papers. Let's read. And there may be spoilers in this, guys. I don't want to ruin the movie for you. So if you're planning on seeing this and you don't want to know what happens, they have dirty sex. Then switch off now. Irish hunk Jamie Dornan returns as S&M enthusiast. Christian Grey. While American actress Dakota Johnson is back as Anastasia Steele. After an attempt on Christian's life by jealous love rival Jack Hyde, what the heck? Anna has realised she can't live without him and the pair get wed. But now she must adjust to married life and her new husband's controlling nature. He's a not a dominatrix, whatever the man version of that is. So he's controlling. You know he's controlling. He ties you up, and I found the first one, I'm going to be honest, a little bit rapey. I did find it a little bit. Jack is determined to destroy their lives after being fired from Christian's publishing firm for harassing Anna and will stop at nothing to take his revenge. Kim Basinger is back as Elena Lincoln, the twisted Mrs. Robinson, who seduced Christian when he was 15 and introduced him to S&M. The new Mrs. Grey is shocked to learn she is pregnant. But Mr. Grey isn't too thrilled. Jamie says, that's the actor, not the character. He's Irish. It's the exact way that you don't want your partner to respond. He feels he's no position to be a father because he likes tying up the mama and whacking her on the bottom very hard with a slipper. Likes to slipper the baby's mother. And that would be inappropriate. Singer Rita Ora remains Christian's sister Mia, with a bigger role than in the original film, with a kidnap plot line. Whoa! Other returning faces include Teen Wolf's Tyler Hoechlin as Anastasia's former classmate. Teen Wolf is Jason Thingybob, isn't he? It's Jason Thingybob. So I'm assuming that they've remade Teen Wolf. Is that what they're telling me here? I bet there'll be a Teen Wolf TV series, won't there? That's what it'll be. What the hell? The actors once again employ the services. Oh, jog on. So you know you get actors, right, and when they're going to be surgeons, instead of just, like acting, they'll say, well, I spent a month in scrubs with an actual surgeon. Or when they're going to be coppers, I spent a month in uniform with actual coppers. Right, listen to these idiots. The actors once again employed the services of a kink advisor who showed them, literally, the ropes. Oh, shut up. Don't be so stupid. You go, if you want to know, you just go and watch like 20 minutes of a porno or something, right? Or you just go into the thing and you go, right, so I'm going to tie her up here. Okay. Idiots. The Red Room is back. And where Christian blindfolds and handcuffs Anna in one of the trademark sex scenes. Imagine if you went and saw this and there was no sex in it, and there's all this negative press, and then the director went, "Yeah, we really wanted to focus on the characters in this, and we wanted this movie to be taken seriously, so we decided we were going to have less of the sex. In fact, we met with the cast and we all agreed we're not even going to have the sex. And the sex is implied. You see them going to a bedroom, but you don't see what happens in there because we thought it'd be more important to really get to the... Imagine that. Imagine the outrage from 50-something women. As in the age, not in the number of women. Richie, stay there. We'll come to you in a bit. 0344 499 1000 is the telephone number if you want to give us a call. I'm Iain Lee. This is Talk Radio.
The Late Night Alternative with Iain Lee on Talk Radio.
We have ways of making you talk.
There's a voice that keeps on calling me. Down the road, it's where I'll always be. Every stop I make a new friend. Can't stay for long, just turn around and I'm gone again. Maybe tomorrow I'll wanna settle down. Until tomorrow I'll just keep moving on. Down this road that never seems to end. When new adventure lies just around the bend. So if you wanna join me for a while, just grab your hat, come travel light, that's old style. Maybe tomorrow I wanna settle down. Until tomorrow, the whole world is my home. So if you wanna join me for a while, just grab your hat, come travel light, that's old style. Maybe tomorrow I wanna settle down. Until tomorrow, I'll just keep moving on. Until tomorrow, I'll just keep moving on. There's a world that's waiting to unfold. A brand new tale no one has ever told. We've journeyed far, but you know it won't be long. We're almost there and we paid our fare with a hobo song. Maybe tomorrow, I wanna settle down. Until tomorrow, I'll just keep moving on. So if you wanna join me for a while, just grab your hat, come travel light, that's old style. Maybe tomorrow I'll find what I call home. Until tomorrow.
It's enough of that. 0344 499 1000 is the phone number. I'm Iain Lee. This is the Late Night Alternative on Talk Radio. You can get, for our American listeners, that's the actual name of the station. It's not a genre. Well, it is a genre, but it's also the name of the station. You can listen in the UK on DAB or by downloading the Talk Radio app, and around the world on talkradio.co.uk. 0344 499 1000 is the phone number. Hope you're not feeling too horny after me reading about the new 50 Shades of Grey movie. There's plenty more where that came from. Huh? Let's go to Richie. Good evening, Richie.
Hello.
Hello, Richie.
How are you doing?
I'm all right, thank you, mate. What you got for us?
Mate, I'm a bit nervous.
Tell me why.
Well, first-time caller. Sounds a bit 90s, I know, but...
No. The correct phrase is, and you only say this if it's true, long-time listener, first-time caller.
That is true as well.
Okay, say it.
It is. Long-time listener, first-time caller.
Doesn't it feel great saying that? And it's a weird thing, that phrase, because you don't get it as much now. You still get it occasionally spontaneously, but you're right, in the 90s and maybe the early 2000s, you'd hear that all the time, and it was a spontaneous thing. You know, it was just people would say, all right, yeah, long-time listener, first-time caller. It's such a weird... I wonder... Who was the person that wrote that? I bet it's the same person that writes the football chants.
You'd have to go back some years, I think, Iain.
I've just been reminded of something, and I hate to keep talking about the jungle, but this just popped into my head. When I was trying, because Dennis Wise and I, the footballer, we didn't really have a lot in common. So sometimes I would try and engage him and Jamie in like sports talk, right? I would try, right? And so one day I said, here's the thing that's always intrigued me about football. Who writes the chants?
Right.
They said, what do you mean? So, well, you know the football chants, right? He's blonde, he's quick, his name's a porno flick, Emmanuel, right, stuff like that. And they'd never heard that one before, and they didn't even know who it was about. So I don't know. I said a footballer called Emmanuel, I said who would write that, and then how would they? Then is it just like one person that writes it, and then he starts chanting it, and the people next to him hear it and stuff? And they didn't understand what I was trying to ask them.
You know, I think there's a probably down the fan club, I'd have to say, and you know what I mean, down those people behind the scenes. Yeah. And so I did start off with a watch show, Ian. I did start off watching the 11 o'clock show. I'm old enough to remember that.
20th anniversary coming up. We're going to have a special on the September. I think it's September the 28th. It started, and we're going to have all the cast of the 11 o'clock show in the studio with me. Ricky, Sasha, Daisy. All the ones that agreed to come on. And at the moment, it's me. We're not going to do anything special. I don't know where any of those guys are, but I will no doubt. I will sit quietly in a cafe, I will drink a cup of coffee, and I will think back to that day. But 20 years ago, man, flipping heck.
I was just catching up with you tonight. I'd totally forgotten that the first... You started presenting the second season, didn't you? Is that right?
I was like the third...
Roving reporter.
Well, no, I was in the studio for the first one. The first one was only 2 weeks long, 6 episodes, and it was Brendan Burns and Fred McCauley, and I was in the studio as like the third pair of hands, but I didn't have a lot to do.
Right. But what you did, let's be honest, you did brilliantly.
Well, I don't know about brilliantly. The stuff I'm most proud of is the little VTs that we did out in the street. Those are the things that... I had a creative input in. I would help write them, and I wowould improvise stuff on the spot. The stuff in the studio, I had almost nothing to do with whatsoever. I would go in, and it would all be written, and I would just sit there and read the auto cue. So, but the stuff on the street is the stuff that I'm really proud of.
It was a few years ago. I was chatting to my brother, and it was a case of now, don't take this personally, but it was a case of what happened to Iain Lee after.
No.
Show.
Hey, listen, I was asking the same question. I did a few bits and pieces, but bearing in mind that I was talked about as possibly being the next Graham Norton and stuff.
Hey.
Yeah, exactly. It didn't quite work out the way it would.
Big time, yeah. I mean, yeah. So obviously found on the podcast, thanks to the internet, that was invented purely for this purpose, of course. And then found on the podcast, I think it was on Absolute, and then 3 Counties, I think, started listening to those. Couldn't believe that the local radio station it was so different to the one near where I live. I just thought, can't we bring Iain Lee up to teas and do a bit up here? And then, I usually watch Celebrity Get Me Out every year, but I'd seen the first couple, and I'd started to drop off a bit. And then my wife called me from the car on the way back from work and said, "You're not going to believe who's coming on." She obviously knew I was a Winkle fan. Yeah. And obviously, after a couple of the people she mentioned, she then mentioned yourself, and I got a little bit more excited as well. But yeah, there was something that happened on that show. Because I thought you generally did think you were brilliant on there, and I thought you held your own really well. And obviously, there's been a lot of conversation on that I've listened to. But there was one, I think it was Shappy you'd said something to.
Oh, yes.
That probably had an effect on me. And it was, I think something, was it Shappy when you said something about big ego, low self-esteem?
Yeah, exactly. Constantly, sometimes at the same time. Sometimes I think, I will think I'm a genius, and I also think I'm a piece of shit at the same time.
Yeah. So... This is why I'm a bit nervous to bring up, because that's quite a powerful thing, but it definitely struck home with me.
Did it really? Isn't that interesting?
It did. And it just, there was something that clicked at that point, and I thought, if I could have put a name to it, how I genuinely feel in life sometimes, that was it, in 4 words. In 5 words, you summed it up.
Yeah.
Then from that, there was more conversation that came, obviously, throughout the show, and I think there was something on last week about the performing side of your personality when you're on there, and you're sort of obviously aware of that, and you sort of slip into that. But then equally, you probably repeating it back in your head all the time and stuff. And it was just really powerful stuff. And it gave me a reason to sort of want to call up and share that, really.
Well, yeah, I mean, aren't we all complicated and confusing machines? You know, it's... I think we're all nuts, Richie, and I think the insanity manifests itself in different ways for different people. But I think we're all equally as nuts, all equally as lonely, all equally as lost and faking it to the very, very best of our ability.
Yeah, even more so these days, I think, to some degree.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah. Right. You mentioned 50 Shades there.
Yes, mate, you're going to be going and seeing it? You're looking forward to it?
Tell you what, right, here's the thing. Never seen the films, never read the book.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, I lost my old man late last year in October.
Yeah.
And he had the 50 Shades book.
Oh, lucky.
I know. You find things out, don't you? But I found the book, the first book, and you're reading this? He said, yeah, it's rubbish. This is when the first one was out, yeah, it's rubbish. Read it cover to cover, yeah, read it cover to cover. Next one came out, the second one appeared on the shelf. Isn't like the first book? Yeah, but, I bought into it now, haven't I?
He's got to see it through to its conclusion.
He absolutely did. To its, I think that might not be the right word, but, he certainly, I think he must have peaked in the second one, but it got to the third one, and, that appeared on the shelf as well, and he went quiet for a couple of weeks, and then he got through them all. But he never enjoyed any of them, of course. Didn't enjoy them at all.
No, of course he didn't. So you have to go and see 50 Shades as a tribute to your dad.
Oh, yes. I'd be doing my dad a great favour there, wouldn't I, to his memory, by going to see those films.
Wouldn't it?
I know. I tell you what, the fourth one, just imagine. You just imagine, can't you? But
it's a terrible watch. It really, they are absolutely awful, awful movies.
Well, if it's only as bad as the books that inspired my dad to read all three, then expectations will be confusingly high, I think. But,
Ah, man. Richie, listen, thanks for calling in, man, and do it again.
Cheers.
Cheers, fella.
Take
Thanks
care.
a lot. Ta-ta.
Cheers, Ian.
03444991000 is the phone number. This is Talk Radio.
No rules nocturnal nattering for nightbirds, nurses and Nosferatu.
All right, cool.
The Late Night Alternative with Iain Lee on Talk Radio.
03444991000. Evening, John. I give that a 5 out of 10. Thanks very much for calling. Thanks very much for calling. Monique Leloulier, we're back to 50 Shades. Monique Leloulier. Oh no, hang on. Monique Leloulier, who crafted Anastasia's sultry gold number and feathered cape for the masquerade scene in 50 Shades Darker, created her wedding dress. She also designed wedding dresses for Reese Witherspoon and Pink Witherspoon. Jamie Dornan admits he feels far from sexy in real life. Usually, if I am in any way naked, I feel awkward and exposed. And fans hoping to see him bare all will be disappointed. He has avoided full-frontal nudity again with a flesh-coloured mollusy beast over his privates. We will not see Jamie Dornan's penis. That will not be happening. The honeymoon scenes were the last thing the actors shot, and that was their favourite bit. Jamie says, it was a bit of a jolly, as we had 2 weeks in France, and I had something like 8 lines. The soundtrack boasts a host of big names, while Jamie does a cover of Paul McCartney's Maybe I'm Amazed. Simon, can you believe it? Hello, Simon.
Hi, Ian. How are you?
Hello, Simon. What you got for us?
Just a quick call. NTAs, any news of the missing award?
Oh, no. The NTA, but I'm a Celebrity went missing, and I've had 2 phone calls asking if I know where it is. But I don't think it's turned up. I think it's still disappeared.
Dan Wootton in The Sun is reporting it tomorrow in his column. It's in there like you accusing Dennis Wise.
Hang on a minute.
In the Sun tomorrow.
Does it actually say?
Yeah, it says Iain Lee's phoning. He suggests Dennis Wise has it.
Oh no! Oh, that's brilliant. I do think Dennis nicked it.
Go to the Sun online and look at Dan Wootton's column. It's there.
Hang on a minute. I'm doing that now. Gong gong. Oh, brilliant. They've used the clip. Gong gong. I'm a Celebrity Boss is furious after NTA gong stolen. Furious bosses have been ringing around the celebrities to find out if one of them has taken it home. Contestant of the latest series, Iain Lee, told his talk radio listeners, boom. One of the producers had called him, asking him if he had it. He said one of the celebrities has stolen the NTA. The producers rang me up the day after. My money is on Dennis Wise. A source told The Sun's bizarre column selfies with the award would be banned at next year's ceremony. Look at that. They said the award was being passed around on the night of the NTAs. People were desperate to take a selfie with it, and obviously with everyone sloshed, it got lost. From next year, they'll be banned. They're that angry. The trophy has gone walkies. The day after the National Television... This is brilliant, Simon. Thank you, mate. The day after the National Television Awards, Iain says he was told of the news by one of the show producers and now suspects former footballer Dennis Wise. She said, someone's walked off, but you don't know where it is, and I'm ringing around all of them. I don't think it's you to see if they know where it was. I said, no, I haven't got it, but I would say that, bearing in mind you're talking to a strawberry thief. One of the celebrities after watching the opening sequence of the last series... Oh, that's brilliant. Yeah, I do think Dennis Wise has nicked it. I bet he has.
Perhaps he'll respond.
I'm going to tweet him that. Oh, that's brilliant, Simon. Thank you for flagging that up.
What about Jack Maynard? He must him having it.
He wasn't allowed. He wasn't allowed there that night, for crying out loud.
Let's hope it doesn't appear on eBay.
Yeah. And that's funny. Isn't that funny? Well, I better text Dennis and tell him it was a joke.
Yeah.
Thank you, Simon.
Ian.
Cheers, mate. Ta-ta. Let's go to Andrew. Hi, Andrew.
Hey, Ian.
How's it going?
I know Kath's not there, so brap, 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 brap.
Brap, 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 brap.
I just wondered if you fancy a quick game of rock, paper, scissors.
Yeah, sure. Away you go.
Remember you're on Periscope?
Yeah, I'm on Periscope. People can see me. Yeah, go on, off you go. So it's 1, 2, 3, go, yeah? 1, 2, 3, go.
Paper.
Oh, mate. Scissors. Do you want another round? Best of 3?
Yeah, go on, do it again. Go on.
1, 2, 3. Go on, off you go.
Rock.
Oh, mate, I've got paper. Best of 5. Oh. Best of 5. 1, 2, 3, go.
Scissors.
Oh, I got rock. Andrew, it's a great game. Thanks very much. Brave effort. Evening, Pablo.
Hip, hip, hip.
Hip, hip, hip.
How are you doing? All good?
Yeah, I can't hear you.
That's right. Can you not hear me?
Are you on speakerphone?
Oh, sorry, yeah.
That's okay. Come on.
Sorry, I was.
Come on, dude. Come on.
Sorry, I thought I'd already pressed the button.
There we go. Not. There we go. Go on. What you got?
Just a moral quandary, basically.
Yep.
The fiancé has had Ofsted in today, so it's been a bit of a stressful couple of days. So I bought her a luxurious salted caramel chocolate cake with some sort of gold kind of, pebbling on the top. But she's fallen asleep, and I really fancy eating it.
Yes.
And she'll go to work tomorrow before anybody's up. And I can replace it in time without her knowing.
Yes.
But there is a small chance that she might see that it's missing from the fridge. And obviously she knows that I bought it for her, so...
Oh, mate, I'm always... No, listen, have it. Have it. Of course you got to have it.
Well, that's the way I was leaning. I've already taken the shaving off the side.
Yeah, have it. Go and have it, for crying out loud. If there's stuff... I remember once I had the last drop of milk for a cup of coffee. The boys couldn't have breakfast the next morning. Oh, well, that's life. That's life, I'm afraid. You've got to learn that life ain't fair. And that's just the way it goes from time to time. Just the way it goes.
Okay, good. I'll enjoy that.
Yeah.
Another quick one, as we were going down memory lane earlier.
Yes.
Bonsai. Do you remember Bonsai?
The tree?
No, the late night Channel 4.
There was no late night television show on Channel 4 called Bonsai.
Oh, Bandai.
Thank you very much indeed. There we go. Yes.
Yeah, just very good. Obviously, the late Bert Kwok was involved.
Yes.
As well as every other, like Japanese or Chinese actor in the British Isles at the time. But yeah, it was just very good, and there just doesn't seem to be any of that kind of like post-pub fare about these days.
No, there isn't anymore, is there? There's none of that kind of... I'm saying that, I don't know, because I'm working post-pub fare time. I am post-pub fare, and I don't really watch TV, so I don't know.
No, I mean, I don't really get to go to the pub these days, but a little bit of just random entertainment, always a bit of fun.
Yeah, well, what you mean is a little bit of European nipple.
Well, no, I'm not.
That's what you mean? You want to watch a bit of Eurotrash and you want to see some European nipples?
Oh, just see.
Yes, that's what you're all for.
Well, no, a bit of Jean-Paul Gaultier in a kilt, showing me some sort of strange Spanish woman with augmented bazooms. Yeah.
Yep.
Top titillation.
That's what you need. Pablo, thank you very much indeed. Ready for some more 50 Shades rudeness? It just sounds like a really awful movie. Rita has hinted at a spin-off. Oh, no! Featuring her character Mia. She says there could be a sequel because I get kidnapped and there's a whole thing that happens. I don't know about that. The series has proved a real money spinner for 50 Shades author E.L. James, who is now said to be worth a whopping £110 million. Good for her. Good, didn't it start off as fan fiction for the vampires, the Twilight films, and then she just changed the names a bit and made a shed load of money? While the film is bound to do well at the box office, expect a critical mauling. The previous instalment, 50 Shades Darker, has 8 nominations at this year's Razzies, celebrating the worst of the year. Evening, John.
Evening, Ian. You're like a drug. I can't stop listening and I can't stop calling.
That's what it's all about. I am, and I am giving out. But by the way, next week I will be at the primary schools giving out drugs to youngsters that will have the Talk Radio web link on, just to get those guys hooked as well.
Oh, that would. Oh, I wish I could go help you.
Well, these things. Yes.
I think I know where that NTA is.
Oh, go on, mate. Where is it?
It's behind the gate in Gino DeCampo's car park.
Hey! No, I don't think he was there. It's one of those things. It's so funny. But then the producer told me that it goes missing quite a lot. And once, she said a couple of years ago, someone ended up taking it to LA with them, and they had to get it FedExed back. Now that sounds a little bit dodgy bodsky. Someone's got it somewhere.
It could be worse.
Yeah.
Did you hear about that guy who won a Grammy for producing some spoken word record, and FedEx package shows up on his doorstep and he opens it and it's Justin Bieber's Grammy?
No, really?
Yeah, I'll find the article and I'll tweet it out to you.
Wowzers. By the way, can I just say, I've just watched the end of the clip that the Sun have used. Thanks so much, the Sun, who owns us, for clipping off the bit at the end when it says Talk Radio. Cheeky buggers. You absolute cheeky buggers. And this is why, may I just say, that we should have a strap line on all the videos saying what time the show is on. This is all I'm saying. There we go. Well, yes, wouldn't it be nice to... Well, you could win. Of course, S Club 7 means nothing to an American, but you could have one of S Club 7's Brit Awards.
Wait. S Club 7 was on a channel here called Fox Family that was owned by the Murdochs. I used to watch S Club 7.
They didn't have any pop hits, though, did they? With the blonde, Joe O'Meara, I believe you'd be referring to. Joe was my favourite as well. Yeah, Joe was my favourite.
That's in fact, I remember that whole season where they lived on in the beach house in like Malibu or something.
Yeah, it was a good show. I liked S Club 7. I thought they were right. There's now just 3 of them touring as I guess they're touring as S Club 3.
Hey, it could be a lot of.
What the hell are you doing, man? Are you masturbating on the phone? What is that noise?
Oh, I'm sorry. I have the fan on because I was having a cigarette in the house and blowing the smoke away from my wife and the dog.
Well, screw your wife and the dog. Not literally. Yeah. All right, John, listen, thank you very much, man. Cheers. Thank you for that. 0344 499 1000. He's calling from New York City. Imagine that. Imagine that. I like this story, and I told Mackenzie about this. And he's right, he is. Treasure hunters' riches are TV shows' fake coins. 2 metal detector fans. It reminds me, I've not seen the 3rd series of The Detectorists yet. I need to get on it. 2 metal detector fans found what they thought was a fortune in Roman gold coins, and then discovered they were props in TV's The Detectorists, the only British show I watch, although I've not seen Series 3. Andy Sampson, 54, and pal Paul Adams, 58, were scouring a ploughed field, unaware the BBC sitcom had been filming there. Curses! Damn you, Mackenzie Crook! They were convinced the hoard was worth £250,000. It was only after Andy took it home to show his wife Sam that the penny dropped, when she remembered the TV crew. The dad of 2 said yesterday, "We were gutted. We thought we had found the Holy Grail." Well, the Holy Grail will be worth more than £250,000. "We weren't sure of the exact value of the hoard, but we had 6 Emperor Nero coins and knew they were worth £26,500 each." Paul had been so thrilled he danced a jig singing, I don't know the tune, Roman Gold, Roman Gold. Gutted. Absolutely gutted. The 54 coins were confirmed to be duds when the Ipswich pair took them to an expert. Andy said, "I think we're officially the world's unluckiest metal detectorists. Our story would make a TV series of its own." Show star Mackenzie Crook, 46. He's 46? Who shot to fame in The Office, said the fake coins got scattered in a scene involving a tractor. He said, "We collected up as many as we could find. I intended to go back to find any strays. But Paul and Andy got there first. As a detectorist myself, I was gutted that I might have contributed to their disappointment." Outrageous, Mackenzie! Enough of this sick filth. 0344 499 1000. I'm Iain Lee. This is Talk Radio.
A star-crossed soapbox for sailor boys, stable girls,
I'm on the edge.
and stripper grands.
It depends who you're with and it depends on the situation.
Late night speech radio with a difference.
Thank you.
The Late Night Alternative with Iain Lee on Talk Radio.
Is that call for me? Here we go. Hello, Liam.
Hello, Ian. You all right?
I'm all right, mate. Are you on a speakerphone?
No, I'm not. My phone must be terrible.
Jeez, your phone is awful, man. Is it made of paper?
Is it really?
Yeah, it sounds... You sound like this. It sounds like this.
Do you think it might be because it's in a case? Do you think I'll take it out of the case, it might make it better?
Let's try taking it out of the case and see what happens.
Right, give me a sec. It's out the case. How does that sound?
That sounds significantly better. Your case is pony.
It's rubbish. I've just got a brand new phone. and I don't want to break it. I got a case off eBay, and I feel like it's doing more damage to the phone than if it was like naked and bare.
Well, this is the thing. Always have a case for a phone. That goes without saying, okay? Because it's basically a glass ornament worth £1,000 that you're carrying around in your pocket. Man alive, when are they? That has got to be the Apple must make more money from either replacing cracked screens or replacing replacement screens that people have got done in their local newsagents than they do out of selling actual iPhones.
This is my first iPhone. I've had other brands before this, and when you break them, they're so much cheaper to fix.
Yeah.
Now I've got an iPhone, I am terrified of breaking it because you've got to get it all done through Apple. If you get it done somewhere else, it can actually break the phone completely.
Yeah.
If you use the wrong charging cables, you get a notification saying this is going to break your phone, and it just breaks your phone. It's terrible.
Really?
Yes. Yeah. I've got an iPad, and I had dodgy cables. So, they get frayed at the end, and you have to get new ones.
Yeah.
I'm not going to pay £40 for a cable, so you buy them off eBay for £3, and they last you a good few months.
Yeah.
But then, after a while, they start saying, this is not registered by Apple.
Oh.
It could damage your device, and it does drain the battery, I'm convinced. Conspiracy.
Well, I buy... I get long iPhone charging cables of about 3 metres because I do the Periscope here, so I'm doing Periscope for 3 hours. You've got to have the phone plugged in, and I've got to have the camera some distance away from the computer, and bloody blah. But they always the connection goes, and so you've got to end up sort of winding the cable round a bit to get a bit of tension in there. Oh, it's all a rip-off. It's all a rip-off.
Those 3 metre long cables probably aren't Apple licensed or whatever, and it could be doing you all kinds of damage. But other devices wouldn't do that. Apple have just got a very manipulative way of making you buy their products. I'm all against it, but I also quite like the phones.
Yeah.
So it's problematic.
It's problematic, isn't it? Anyway, what you call in for? Well, maybe we did what you called in for.
No, I heard you talk about 50 Shades of Grey, and I felt compelled to phone in.
I compel you in the name of Christ.
That's my thoughts. So basically, I am a student radio broadcaster.
Here we go.
Up in Sunderland, and I used to do a film review show.
Yes.
So it started off as a podcast, and we had no real obligation to go and see 50 Shades at all. We just decided, 3 of us young lads,
yes,
it will be quite funny if we go and review 50 Shades of Grey.
Yeah.
So we saw it on opening night, which was Valentine's Day.
Romantic.
It was just... of an entire screen, it was just us 3, 18-year-old boys,
yes,
who were the only males not with a female in the entire screen.
Hey.
And it was uncomfortable. It was very uncomfortable.
Here's my problem with the first 50 Shades. It's boring. It's just so boring. It goes on for hours and nothing happens. And the sex scenes are boring.
There's one funny thing in 50 Shades of Grey during one of the sex scenes that'll always stay with me, and that's when the camera kind of pans up, and there's a picture of crashing waves on the back of his bedroom wall. I thought that was quite funny.
Yeah.
That's a sort of interesting joke. But we then moved from doing a podcast to doing a program on the radio station, and it felt like a real obligation once 50 Shades Dark in the second one.
Yeah.
And I actually sort of enjoyed the second one because of just how terribly funny it is.
Yeah.
They've got such a pole-faced expression for the entire time. It's almost entirely, completely, unintentionally hilarious. But it was still a traumatic experience. It was still very traumatic.
We took a 90-year-old man to see it with us.
Oh, blimey!
Yeah, I know. And I got told off for talking too much, and it wasn't me that was talking; it was Dennis, the old boy. So
it's the kind of film that should be racy, and it should be really erotic and sexy, and it should give you palpitations. But really, it'll send you to sleep. It's just, or in my case, fits of laughter at just how unintentionally hilarious it was.
Well, here's the thing as well. They did a spoof version of it called 50 Shades of Black.
Yeah.
And it's like a black comedy, right? In terms of black as in it is black actors. Yeah. And I saw the trailer for it, and I couldn't understand how they got away with it. I just didn't. You think, because to make a movie, right, even like a crappy movie like 50 Shades of Black, What's that? $5 million? $5 million? That's conservative.
Probably, yeah.
Where are they getting $5 million to make 50 Shades of Black?
The thing with, 50 Shades of Black is, how do you parody something that's already a parody?
Yeah, that's
it's the same. There's a football, one of these football hooligan parody films that parody things like Green Street.
Yeah.
But those things themselves are already not to be taken seriously, or if they are, then God forbid. But, the whole 50... But luckily, I've since had to step down from doing this programme. I'm on a master's degree at the minute, so it's taking all my time. And I've got no obligation to see 50 Shades, whatever the third one's called, and it feels so liberating. Oh.
Well, Liam, listen, you've endured more than any man should have, any human being should have to endure, and I'm glad you're out the other side, brother.
It feels good. I think there should be support groups.
Yeah, there should be.
50 Shades.
There should be. Yeah. Liam, thank you very much for calling. Let's go to Louise. Hey, Louise.
Hello.
Hello, Louise.
Hi.
What you got for us?
Well, you might not be at all interested in this, but I've been loving your gaming streams.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. For those who don't know, let me just say, Louise, I bought a PlayStation 4, and I've totally copied Limmy's patter, and it turns out you can just flick a few switches, and I can play Overwatch, or any game, and people can watch it on YouTube. And I've just been doing it, and I can see the comments and stuff. And then today, Limmy, the comedian, who's one of my absolute heroes, he saw my tweet, and he went, right, I'm jumping in. And suddenly I'm playing with Limmy, and he's brilliant, and I'm rubbish, and I'm trying not to fanboy over him, and suddenly 2 hours had gone, and I went, I should really get out of bed.
Yeah, no, I love watching, gaming on YouTube. I've watched loads of it, because I am rubbish at video games.
Yeah.
Just unbelievably bad.
Yeah.
And I also can't afford any, games or consoles, so it's just
expensive.
A good thing.
Yeah. Oh, so cool. Listen, I'm glad. I was glad to bring pleasure to the 55 people that were watching me 3 o'clock this afternoon when I was still in bed. I was still in my pajamas, and I was playing Overwatch like some kind of loser. I'm glad you're getting pleasure from it, Louise.
Yeah. Well, I have a suggestion for a game if you're interested.
Yeah, sure.
Okay, so it's called Firewatch.
Oh yes.
And it's it's really story based.
Yeah.
But you play as a guy who goes into, I think it's Yellowstone National Park.
Oh.
And volunteers as a ranger, but in the Firewatch towers.
Yeah.
And it's just it's a really good story, and it's beautiful, the art. And
hang on a second.
I just
hang on a second.
would highly recommend.
Hang on a second. What we're going to do? We're going to have a little listen to the trailer. Here we go. This looks like it could be a winner. Hang on. Here we go. Firewatch.
What's in this cave down here?
NFS tells people not to go too far in there. It's pretty dangerous. You're in it, aren't you?
It doesn't seem that dangerous. Whoa! Whoa! Ah, no!
Henry!
Seriously, it's completely fine in here.
Damn it. That storm knocked out the phone line I used to talk to the service, which means we're cut off.
I'll see what I can do.
He's going to chop down.
You think you'll take to it? Being out here? The isolation gets to people. I don't talk to the other lookouts as much as I talk to you. Not in the same way.
What makes me so special?
2 young women have been reported missing.
Here we go.
You're probably the last person to have seen them.
Hey, you kids! Somebody cut the comms.
What?
I'm out here, and the wire is cut clean through.
Wait, you're already there?
It looks a bit dry.
Oh. Well, I like it. So.
Well, I'll tell you what I'm going to do. No, all right. Well, I'll buy it just so that you can watch me play it. What I'll do is if the people that make Firewatch want to send me a free copy of Firewatch, I will play it on there. Because here's the thing. You're right. Video games, man. They're like 45, 50 quid for a game.
Yeah.
It's insane. And even now, because I used to wait for and get them second hand, right? But even now, a second hand game, if it's a good game, is 20 quid, 25 quid. So I'm going to start a GoFundMe, and I'm going to people can buy me games. Or I get an Amazon wish list and people buy me a game and I'll mention their name while I'm playing it. That sounds like a fair deal, doesn't it?
Yeah, I'd take that, to be fair.
I don't know about that. Louise, thanks for calling.
You're welcome.
Cheers, my
Bye.
dears. Ta-ta. 03444991000. This is Talk Radio.
The late-night lip service for lovers, loners and lounge lizards.
Where exactly is your accent from?
The Late Night Alternative with Iain Lee
I've forgotten your name already, excuse me.
on Talk Radio.
No! Oh, it's 15 minutes of the show. As always, you can watch the show on Periscope. Or if you want to go and look at old shows or clips of me playing video games, I don't know why anyone would want to watch that, but I do enjoy watching other people play video games. So, yeah. Then I have my own YouTube channel, which you should go and check out and subscribe to. And I think we're on about 3,500 subscribers. If we get to like 5,000, I should do something special, but I can't think of what that would be. So let's see. Any suggestions be welcome. But if you go to youtube.com/rabbithole, and there's loads of stuff up there. There's new stuff, there's old stuff, there's the radio show. There's all kinds of bits and pieces. So, go there and do whatever it is you want to do. I don't know. 03444991000. Where should we go to? Let's see what's in here. Oh, there's a cup of tea. I forgot about the cup of tea. Oh, here we go. I knew there was something I wanted to do on the show tonight, and I totally forgot. The world's oldest man dies at 113. Always go and question the world's second oldest man. That's what I say. A retired farmer claiming to be the world's oldest man. So basically what the Daily Mail is saying, we just think he's lying. A retired farmer claiming to be the world's oldest man has died a month after turning 113, or so he reckoned. Francisco Nunes Oliveira Wright, said to have been 10 when the First World War broke out. It was his fault. Died in southwestern Spain, where he had lived all of his life, village mayor Antonio Carmona said. I don't believe this guy. And again, neither does the Mail. Listen to this. With a claimed birth date of December the 13th, 1904, relatives credited Mr. Oliveira's long life to a diet of vegetables grown on his land, a daily glass of red wine, and a healthy interest in S&M. He's not. I've conflated two stories. Every morning for breakfast, he would have sponge cake made with olive oil and a glass of milk. And until the age of 107, he went out for daily walks by himself. It was because he stopped walking that he died. You see? Just 6 years later, the man was dead. But, here we go. Mr. Oliveira's name did not appear on a list kept by the Gerontology Research Group, which validates ages of the world's oldest people. The US-based group lists Japan's 112-year-old Masazu Nonaka, born on July the 25th, 1905, as the world's oldest man. El Mundo newspaper said most of Bienvenida's public archives were destroyed during the Spanish Civil War. I'm suspicious of this guy. I don't think this guy is for real. I think this is bullshine. There's a story, right, and it's a really heavy story. Can we do a heavy story at the end of the show? I think we can. Oh, I don't know. Man, it's the saddest. It's the saddest story, right? And we're going to end the show on an absolute downer. Do I want to end the show on a downer? Yeah, I'm going. It's a really grim story, right? It's really sad. So, if you want to go and make a cup of Horlicks before Paul Ross comes on at 1 o'clock, then go and make a cup of Horlicks. I just saw this. I just thought, oh my God, this is the saddest story, right? So I'm just going to read it. Oh, it's going to make me cry as well. I don't want to cry. Okay. 2 young girls were found cuddling their dead father in bed after spending almost 24 hours with the body. Oh, God. There's the beautiful little girls, look. Pearl Dakin, 4, and 2-year-old sister Iris, oh, man alive. Pearl Dakin, 4, and 2-year-old sister Iris tried putting indigestion pills in Dad Chris's mouth to make him better. Isn't it? They were found by a relative at 8 p.m. with the body of It's the saddest story. With the body of 47-year-old Mr. Dakin, who died of heart failure in his sleep the night before. The girls are said to be traumatised and may need long-term counselling. The mother, Helen, has criticised school bosses who did not phone her to check when one of the girls failed to turn up for class. The tragedy happened in October 2016, while Mrs. Dakin, an education technology consultant, was away from the family's home in Halifax for a work trip in London. She became worried when her husband, a devoted stay-at-home father who posted daily photos of his daughters on a blog, did not answer the phone. When she rang in the morning, she thought he was busy with the school run, then later that he might have lost his handset as there was no answer. When the children's grandmother drove round to check, she found the windows dark and the milk still outside. Unable to open the door, because Mr. Dakin had left the keys in the other side, she called the police who broke down the door. Mrs. Dakin, a former teacher in her 40s, said, I got on the train and at 8 p.m. I got a phone call to say my husband had died but that the children were okay. The police had broken in and the children were found in bed with him. Oh, God. He was cold, the children said, and they told me they were putting tablets in his mouth to make him better. They talked openly that they couldn't move him, and Daddy's eyes were shut and his mouth was open. I think Pearl knew before. They spent the whole day upstairs. They didn't come down at all. They were hungry. They played with all my shoes and makeup, but they didn't venture further in the house. Isn't that the saddest thing? Oh, man. I don't know why I felt the need to read that. I just saw it earlier on, and it just hit me as absolutely heartbreaking. Oh, man. That was I don't know. Anyway, 0344 499 1000. You've got 6 minutes if you want to give me a call. You're more than welcome to. Paul Ross will be on, as he is, every night, Monday. Well, I always get confused. So it'll be like Sunday night, but it's Monday morning. You know what I mean? Through to Thursday night, Friday morning, I think, 1 till 5. And then we can't do lock-ins. We can't do lock-ins on Fridays because there's someone is doing a show from 1 o'clock Friday night, Saturday morning, but we don't know who. We have no idea who it is. So start your rumour engines now, guys. Start playing the guessing game. Who's it going to be? But it means that for the meantime, for the now, lock-ins have ended. Sorry, guys, but you never know. You never know. They might come back at some point. These things could still happen. So we live in hope. Let me try and find an uplifting story. Can I find an uplifting story? Here we go. Britain's best walks. That's uplifting. Britain's best walks. You've got to love a good walk. More than 200 years ago, its mesmerising natural beauty inspired William Wordsworth to create his most famous verses. And today it seems the Lake District, where the poet gazed on the daffodils fluttering and dancing beside Ullswater, remains just as compelling. With its picturesque mountains and stunning lakes, it dominates a list of our favourite walks. It takes 5 of the top 10 spots, including number 1 in the shape of England's third highest mountain, Helvellyn. So here we go, guys. This is the top 20 let's not do all of them. I've never heard of any of these. The Lizard Peninsula in Cornwall. Sam's nodding. Stop bum-licking Cornwall, for crying out loud. They want independence from us. Old Harry's Rocks in Dorset. You know that one? Number 18. Hang on a second. Hello, caller.
Hi, my favourite walk is the Ken Hom Deluxe. It makes it the best stir-fry going.
Thanks very much indeed, caller. Ken Hom's walks are getting a lot of mentions on the show recently. As they should. Do you remember a programme called The Chinese Detective? Do you remember that? And I think the gimmick was he was a detective, and I think, if I've got this right, he was also Chinese. Number 17, it's Whitby to Robin Hood's Bay in North Yorkshire. Number 15 is Ben Nevis in Scotland. Yes! Ben Nevis! Cat bells in the Lake District? No? I don't know, it's just places. And if you don't know them, it's pointless just reading out places. What were you thinking, man? What were you thinking, for goodness? Why did you think reading out places would make compelling radio? Are you nuts? The breakdown is complete. Reading out places. An absolute idiot. I think we're done here. I think my work here is done. Yeah, I think that's it. Really? Not got anything else. We've got 2 minutes, 20 seconds or so, but I think we're done. I don't think we're not gonna squeeze any more juice out of this tea bag. I think that the tea bag is dry. So we sit and we wait, and we round the show off in the way that we started the show, and that we have a little bit of silence. And if you want, you can send out positive vibes, man, to anybody that you fancy sending positive vibes to. You can send them to Alan's mum again if you want. You can send them to your mum. You can send them to whoever. Just enjoy. We're going to have about a minute of silence at the end. Well, you'll hear me packing up and stuff. And then there'll be noisy adverts, and then the news, and then Paul Ross. But when do we get to have silence? We don't get to have silence in our lives very often. Everything's so noisy and stuff. So I'm going to shut up. You're going to hear me pottering around, but this time is for you.